Hey guys, Martin here. Um, week three, is it? Yeah, week three of the Kickstarter. Normally do this on a Friday night. The last 2 weeks I've done it on a Friday night, but I'm going to do it. I am doing it on a Thursday night this time. So, reason for it being is just thought last week wasn't as popular as the week before, even though it was payday. Now, is that because everybody had been paid and had gone out drinking and out for meals or whatever? And I just thought, you know what, let's have a go on Thursday night. See what the crack is. Now, coming into the show, the Kickstarter had just surpassed this morning £3,000. I was sort of like, wow, blown away, absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I've had one bidder who's had to reduce his bid for financial reasons, and another guy who I'm presuming is for financial reasons as well, who's completely cancelled his bid, hasn't even left it at £1. So he's either lost faith in the project, or as I say, for financial reasons, can't afford to carry on with his bid, which is fine. It's going to happen. It's what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's unfortunate when it does, because I was coming into this all on a high, saying, "Oh yeah, hit £3,000. That's 60% of the way through. Only £2,000 to go to make this happen." But you know what? Let's keep the faith. I think it's still going to happen. Now, what's tonight's show about? There's only me on the show. Anybody is welcome to join in. I haven't specifically got anybody coming on tonight's. Last two of these, in typical me style, have been very off kilter. I think is the expression. It's I ramble on and I go off on tangents, which is fine. That's just what I do. And you either accept that and carry on watching, or you close down and go and watch a different chat show somewhere else. Yes, I want to push the Kickstarter. Obviously, naturally, it's exactly what I want to do. But I don't want to push the store this time. I want to talk about, there's a gentleman who lives in Paris, actually a Scottish gentleman who lives in Paris, with what looks to be an Italian name. It's fantastic. And he pledged £50 to me yesterday. Might have been the day before, actually. So I sent him a thank you message, as I would to anybody that pledges, whether you pledge £1 or whether you pledge £1,000. You get a thank you message off me instantly. But as soon as I'm at a computer, and then at the end of the campaign, I'll sort more thank yous out. And he replied to my thank you, and it was such a nice message. It sort of took me aback, and he said he's never probably going to get to come and visit the store, unless when he's in the UK, he goes to Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland. So if he's in Wales, he might make the short trip up to Southport, and depending on which part of Wales you're in, it can be as short as an hour to Wales, hour and 15 maybe, which would be great if he comes up. And I said, obviously, if he does, I'd love him to come up so I can shake him by the hand and thank him for his pledge. But basically, his message, without reading it out word for word, was very much summed up my mentality towards this community and my mentality towards this hobby. I keep using the word community because that's exactly what we are. We're a community of friends. We get behind each other when we need to. We sort each other out with if somebody needs a bit for something, or if a charity project's going on, or whatever it is. We all try to help each other out, and nothing ever seems too much trouble for anybody. This Kickstarter is a little bit different because it's not quite a charity. It's some sort of essence it is, but it's not officially a charity, and it's money for setting up a business. So it's not as natural, I suppose, to give money. But this guy was just sort of like, listen, I'm going to pledge £50. Take the discounts that come with it. Probably not going to get any use out of the membership, but you know what? I'd give you more money, except for the fact that I'm getting married soon. It's an exciting project. I believe in it, and I want you to succeed. So I want to give you as much help as I possibly can to give something back to the community. Because if I'm up and running I'm giving back to the community, whether that be in the range of stock, in the prices that I'm offering, in the tournaments, whatever it is I'm doing. And I just thought, yeah, that's quite right. And as he said, if 50 more people thought like him and pledged £50, then all of a sudden it's done and dusted, and excelling from there. So I don't want to labour on for 2 or 3 hours about this one message that came through, but that's it. That's touching the button. That's literally pressing the correct button, isn't it? £50, that's a lot of money to a lot of people. It's pennies to some people, but whichever way you look at it, £50 can be spent on, definitely on models. You can buy a lot for £50, or you can buy one particular thing for £50, depending on which manufacturer you're playing with, GW or whatever it might be. Sorry, guys. But he's willing to give that to see something better happen. Now, he's going to get 3 10% vouchers, which could easily be worth £50, depending on how much you spend on the hobby. And the difference it makes to me is massive. I had another £250 pledge come in yesterday. That was from a friend. He doesn't want any of the benefits that come with it. He's just a friend of mine who is a good friend. And to be fair, he saw what I was doing and he said, you know what? He said, want to help you succeed. So he just put £250 my way. And it's things like that that make you realise why you're doing this. Not so much my friend, because he's not interested in wargaming, but the gentleman that pledged £50 and sent that message, I think that's why I'm doing it. I'm not just opening a shop, because retail's dead. Retail doesn't work anymore. But what does work is community projects. They just do, and we need to have bricks and mortar stores. I touched on it last week about, or in one of my videos. There's been a lot of videos this week, and I'm trying to remember which one I want to. But I could discount the same level as those other websites, the ones that are giving 20-25% off. But I'm not going to sustain the business. I don't want to be in this for the short term, just make a few quid and then bugger off. I want to be in this for the long haul. I want to stay as long as I can. I'm committing to a 5-year lease and a 5-year business loan. So at the minimum, I'm in it for 5 years kind of thing. It's going to cost me a lot of money to get out earlier, and fingers crossed, it'll all just run. It ain't going to be easy, but hopefully it will all run. And knowing that other people believe in what I'm doing reassures me, because I've got the vision, I've got the belief, but knowing that other people believe in it as well, it's fantastic. And it's not because he gave £50. If he gave £1 and sent that message, it still meant just as much to me. One of the guys who had to reduce his pledge, he's actually upped it again since then. And I asked him the question, as I would do to anyone, is for what reason have you reduced it? Is it for financial reasons, or is there something that you weren't happy with the pledge level, or have you lost faith in what I'm doing? Basically, give me some feedback. And it's purely financial reasons. I say he's put it back up to £10 now. I've just literally got the email as we started this, and that's fantastic. There's a guy, a Northwest guy, who's going to come on. He said about 10 o'clock, and I don't know whether he's just going to come on the Q&A or whether he's going to come on live. I need to open that Q&A window actually, sorry. Yeah, I don't know which way he's going to come on, but when he comes on, he's got a lot of questions to ask, and I don't know what they are. I'll be, as always, I'll just be honest with my answers. You'll just get straight out honesty from me. I might even have to make some snap decisions, but I'm intrigued. He wants to ask the questions. He said it's going to give people an understanding of other things that are going on, some clarity, and I need that. And that's why that question and answer box is open down the side. We've got 5 of you watching this physically at the moment, which is fantastic. Please, if you can, write the questions in the Q&A that you want to ask throughout the show. And even if it's not a question, just pop in there. "Hi Martin, it's so and so watching," just so I know who's watching. You're taking the time to watch me. Let me know who you are. I suppose is what I'm saying, isn't it? I mean, I know one or two of you are. Just trying to unlock my phone, sorry guys. Remco was one of the people. Sorry, I was just checking the emails coming through, which means there's notifications on YouTube. And because there's only me live on screen at the moment, it makes it more difficult for me to talk to you, drink my coffee, and do that. I was hobbying as I pressed the live button, and I think I'm gonna have to stop that now. I'm a man. I can't multitask. Can't do two things at once. Star Wars mother's always the best. But I started this video off saying that I wanted to speak more on structure, because the other part to this gentleman's message back to me was quite right. There's been a video every day this week, and I think there probably will be a video each day now through until the end of the campaign, which is a week on Saturday, the 13th. Fine, I'm off for the night and I can watch your live stream for a longer period of time. Remco, stay with us for the duration, mate. You are absolutely welcome. Really appreciate you being here. I can't obviously do shout outs to every single person that comes on, and I know nobody expects it, but I do particularly want to do one for Remco. If you look, either look on my YouTube channel, look at videos I've liked or watched recently, whatever, you'll see Remco Beges. I don't know how to pronounce your surname, and I've probably got that wrong. But have a look at this guy's Imperial Fists. I've never seen yellow painted as well as he's painting yellow, and he's now giving us all the tutorial on how to do it. Absolutely mind-blowing. Go and give the guy a sub and watch that series of how to paint. Absolutely stunning yellow. Mr. Beastie Biscuit, hey Martin, Gabe here. I didn't know that was your first name. Hope you're having a good evening. Can't stay too long, but I'm looking forward to the recording tomorrow. Yeah, it might be a 3-hour recording, so make sure you've got plenty of coffee. I don't know how long it'll go on. It's me. Could be an hour, it could be 8. On next week's that I do, which possibly will be Thursday again, I'm getting Jerry on, check-in, who is the font of all knowledge of wargaming. Like literally what the guy doesn't know about different game factions, different models, past, present, future. He just, and getting him, I've chatted with him many times anyway, but getting him chatting with me live on here, he'll hopefully build even more belief. Yeah, I need to grab a pen. Let me get a pen out. There's not going to be one because I want one, isn't there? Right, so I don't know how many minutes we're in. I'm supposed to start at 9 o'clock. So what I want to try and do is put some sort of index in, so that people who are coming to watch this video, if there's an index at the very beginning of it, then you know where to skip to for the relevant parts for you. So we've done the introduction, we've done the thanks to a gentleman who pledged it and gave me the message. But the other side of the made in the message, sorry, I got distracted by messages coming through, was about the online store. There are a very tiny few of you that watch these videos, that believe in me and in this store, that are actually going to get to Southport on a regular basis, never mind on a regular basis. So what's in it for everybody else? Everybody in the EU can use my web store. I can ship all products to the whole of the EU. Certain products I can ship worldwide. I can't ship GW because they won't let me. Can't ship any of the likes of the Fantasy Flight, X-Wing and that, although I would imagine that would be cheaper in the States to buy direct than buying from the UK anyway. But I want to talk about my web store. So I've made a little marker there, 15 minutes in. That's what I want to spend the next good chunk of time talking about, to be fair. There are different web stores out there for different companies, never mind just the hobby world. What's important to me with a website is that it looks professional, because then you trust it. If it looks like it's being thrown together by monkeys, then I'm not buying from it. Because regardless of the day and age that we live in, we still have this paranoia about putting details into a computer and everything. You never know what's going to happen. And if something looks a little bit dodgy, there's a chance that it is. It's not to say that it definitely is, but when there are competitors out there who look professional, I don't want to look unprofessional. So the first thing I want is a professional looking website. It needs to be sharp and visually correct. More importantly than that, it needs to be simple to navigate. It needs a home screen which gives you an idea of what's involved and where you can go to, and then everything needs to just work well. So you want Games Workshop, and as you click on the Games Workshop tab, it'll come down and it'll break down into subsections, which would then break across into the trees, and you know how to find them. Or if you just know what you want, you type it straight in the search bar. If it's another game system, it will come down in different tabs. If it's books that you're after, if it's paints that you're after, if it's hobby accessories that you're after, these all need to be either in tabs across the top or down the side. Mine are going across the top. And you need to have offers displayed in a nice banner. You need to have new products displayed, so that it's really impacting when you come on. You see this new product. You might not even know about the game, but because you see it in front of you, that looks good. I've just seen today, I'm still learning most of these other game systems, but Phil Winstanley from War Machine Warmer Hoods Northwest Facebook group, he's posted up pictures of the new War Machine models that come out, and there's a big steamroller thing coming out. If I'd never seen War Machine before, that model alone would have got my attention and got me into the game, because it was like, wow. So it's a new model, straight on the front page of the website, with the price and then with links to other bits. You need to let people know on the homepage, free shipping at £30. Now, a lot of the other websites, especially the bigger ones who are doing the big discounts, again, we know who they are. I've checked all their websites out. Most of them aren't giving free shipping in the UK until £75. Now, all right, it's easy to spend 75 quid, but you shouldn't have to. I think £30 is about right. Shipping costs me money. It's not free to me, but I think at the point where you spend £30, I can afford to ship it for free. It'll go out by courier and it'll be within 48 hours. And that's a promise that I make, is it's a 48-hour delivery, probably next day, but definitely within 48 hours. If when you get to the point of, sorry, we'll come back to shipping, you're getting free shipping, 48-hour shipping within, for £30 becomes free. PayPal, yes, you can pay with PayPal. I've just said about the trust issues that people have. Well, there are big trust issues out there with the internet. How do you combat them? You put safety in people's minds. So you have like the safe pay or very pay and things like that, where you have to type a password in with your card. Again, I buy things on the internet. I hate it when that comes up. It just feels like it slows me down, and I don't want to be slowed down. I've always got other things to be doing. So use PayPal. You can use cards and you'll go through the very pay thing or whatever it's called. But use PayPal. What I won't do is charge you for it. Again, these companies that are offering the big, huge margins off their products are then charging anything up to, I've seen it, anything up to 2.75% of your order to PayPal, because PayPal charge the seller. So I take a charge of about, I think it's about 1.75%, depending on what your turnover is through PayPal. You can arrange terms with them. Coffee's finished now, that's good. So I won't charge you for PayPal. So all of a sudden, these guys who are offering 20, 25%, there are some offering 25, but it's normally on the bits that you don't really want. So 20% seems to be a common thing. I'll do 10 to 15% on GW. So if I'm offering 10% off Space Marines, £25 is the stock price. I'll be selling them at £22.50, and somebody else will be selling them at £20. So there's £2.50 difference. But you've only got to spend another £7.50 with me to get free postage. You've got to spend another 50 quid, 52.50, yeah, 55 quid in fact, with them to get free postage. Your postage will be £3 to £5, so therefore I'm cheaper. You pay by PayPal, I become cheaper because that 3%. We get lulled in, and I've done this for years in sales psychology. You lull people in with offers and temptations and how things are priced and what have you. 20% sounds better than 10%. It is. It's better than 15%. But when you actually break that down to what it comes in cost, if we were selling cars like I used to do, so if I was selling Audis, Jaguars, or whatever it might be, and that car might be up at £35,000, 10% off £35,000 as opposed to 20% off £35,000 is a huge difference. It's like a notable pound difference. Whereas on smaller purchases, bear in mind the average transaction value in wargaming, whether it be through the internet or through a till in a store, is about 35 quid per transaction. Because some people will only buy a pot of paint, other people spend 300 quid. The average transaction is about £35. So hence why I'm giving free shopping at £30, because I will catch those people. Pretty much everybody's going to get free shipping there. And when you're talking that difference, it's like £2 difference, £2.50 difference between me and another competitor who probably hasn't got it in stock, has got a bad reputation for slow stock. Because what happens, and whether it's legal or not, it happens, and laws are changing, so it will become more common practice. Because the UK is part of the EU, we're governed by a law that came from Brussels, where you cannot, as a manufacturer, you cannot stop a retailer discounting products. So I can buy for whatever cost I buy, and I can sell for whatever cost I want to, and the distributor or the manufacturer can't stop me doing that. But what it's doing is ruining the industry, because bricks and mortar stores are what's needed to keep this industry going. The web stores that are out there are just trying to sell cheap nationwide, which is killing then the local game stores. So Games Workshop don't do it at the moment, but we all know about their legal team. The second they can get away with doing it, they will. And there are other companies out there who are already doing it, and the legal threat it never gets backed up. Basically, what the distributors and the manufacturers are doing is, if you're giving a discount, they're fine with that, 10, maybe 15%. If you're giving 20 or 25% discount, every time you try to put an order in, a lot of it will be out of stock. You've got no way of proving that it isn't. But basically, the manufacturer's just holding back stuff and saying, I don't want you selling it that cheap, because you're cheapening the image of my product. It's great for the end user because you're getting it cheap when you're buying it from me. But actually, in the long run, you're actually killing the product, because then they've got to try and make more money out of it somewhere else. And it's how prices rise. Everybody moans about the GW price rises, but they've got to do it because they need to be able to sell it at a certain price, because somebody somewhere will always discount it by 20, 25, even 30% discounts, which cheapens their product. You try and buy Apple anything less than retail price. I bought for a dealership about 18 months ago. I bought 23 iPads direct from Apple. I was offered 2% discount. That's the most they'll go to, unless you buy refurbished stock or you've got student discounts. I think the student discount was only 5%. If you buy refurbished stock, I think I got 13% off. That was for 23 iPads. So, and they were like 400 quid each. Work the math out on that. That's not a cheap purchase. But they don't discount things. Mini, as a manufacturer, never used to discount their cars. Somebody started doing it, so everybody had to follow suit. and now all of a sudden it affects the on sale value and whatever. So that's what's happening with the manufacturers. They're stopping these discounts. They're not stopping the discounts, they're stopping the products, which is why the bigger companies with the bigger discounts are always taking 4 or 5 weeks to get your order out to you. Mine's very simple. I'll stick to a small discount. I won't sell as many in volume as the bigger guys, because you will either buy on price or you'll buy on loyalty and customer service. This one costs a tiny little bit more than this one. Only a little bit, but you get what you pay for. So if you're not bothered about the service you get, if you're not bothered about what comes through, not bothered about how long it takes, yeah, you'll save 2 or 3 quid. If it's a £300 order, yeah, you might save 20, 30 quid even, possibly, maybe not that much. But yeah, you'll save a little bit by going with them, but it might just take its time, and you won't get good service when it comes through. That's not true for every single one of those retailers. Some of them have got good service. But when the laws change, i.e. if we come out of the EU, or if something comes in and the manufacturers find a way around it, and all of a sudden, let's say Games Workshop says, we're only going to offer you 10%. You discount more than 10%, you can't have our products. Those boys who have been doing 20, 25%, they've got no customers anymore. I've put that in a video. I know I have, and if I haven't, it's out tomorrow or Friday. So I'm repeating a lot of what you might have already seen. What does it mean for my website? My website's going to be, as I've said, PayPal free of charge, postage free after £30, and then the stock will be easy to navigate. Pictures. I've been on this afternoon. I've been on a couple of other game stores around the UK, and they've not got pictures of what they're selling, or then they've got a subtitle for something that they're going to sell, but no products. So you click on it, it says products not available. When you click on War Machine, and you just sort of like, if you've not even got it in your itinerary, never mind physically in stock, if you've not even got it in your itinerary, don't put it on there. I ain't buying something if I can't see what it is. So there'll be images next to everything. Now, accepting for computer glitches and things, they'll always be there. And those images should always be there. My stock levels are going to be live stock levels. I've got some fancy EPOS system that operates my till. And as you click from wherever you are in the world, you buy something, you might come on and buy, I don't know, 3 Space Marine rhinos. For whatever reason you want 3 rhinos. Click add to cart. It'll show that they're in stock. You'll then go through, check out and what have you. They're bought. An email instantly comes through to my till, because my tills are all computer based anyway. It's just a computer screen. That's how my till operates with a cash drawer. So it'll instantly come through to there and make a ping. The sound system that I have around the shop will be playing whatever music's playing, and I'll just get a ping. Just literally break the music with a ping. That means I know that an internet sale's being made. Somebody needs to get to the computer straight away. My mobile phone, which never ever leaves my side, that will also get the email comes through, because it'll come through at sales at War Games. So that pings. So I've got 3 different ways of knowing that a sale has been made. I will instantly then go to the till, unless I'm tied up with a customer and the other member of staff is tied up with the customer. One of us, whoever's free, will instantly go to the till area, bring the internet sale up, bring the email up, right, 3 rhinos, straight off onto the shop floor, because all the stock's on the floor anyway, straight onto the shop floor, take 3 rhinos off, and either package it there and then if they've got time. If they haven't and they've got to go and see to a customer, at least it's off the shop floor so nobody else can buy it. If 2 people go to buy it, let's say that scenario might kick off, especially with more popular products. Imperial, somebody bought 2, I've only got 3 in stock. Somebody else, 20 seconds later, browsing at the same time, put 2 into their cart. They go to checkout, and the total will come up of whatever it is for 2 nights, will come up, and it'll say in stock 1, 48-hour delivery, 48-hour free delivery, I would say, to follow within 7 to 10 days, one more free delivery. What that means is I've got one physically in stock, the other one I haven't got, and my order with Games Workshop, for example, is once a week. Some companies I can order by a day basis, but Games Workshop specifically is a weekly order. So if my order was on a Wednesday, let's say it was 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, and you bought your 2 nights and only one was in stock, then, and you bought it Wednesday morning, that's fine, because it'd be in the next day in my order, because I'd be able to put it in on that order that afternoon. But if you ordered it at, I don't know, 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, I'd already submitted my order and couldn't change it, then you're going to have to wait until next Wednesday when I put my order in, which is 7 days. Plus then it arrives on the Thursday, and it takes me 2 days to get it sent out, so it arrives with you the Saturday morning after, and that's where the 10 days comes from. But I'll be honest about it, you will have the option. If you fill your basket with £50 worth of models or £500 worth of models, it will tell you what's physically going to be with you within 48 hours and what's to follow. It will then give you the choice. Do you wish to continue with this order? Or basically, do you want to take bits off that are in stock, or do you want to cancel the whole thing? Because as soon as you cancel everything and be straight up with you, so that you know that I'm being honest with you and you know where you stand, rather than being like some of these other companies who send you an email the day after you bought it saying, oh, we're out of stock of that, we'll be with you next week. And then you get an email next week saying, yeah, well, we still haven't got your stock in, so and you're 4 or 5 weeks down the line before you get your bits. Fine, you might not be able to build everything you bought within the 4 weeks, but you shouldn't have to wait for it in this day and age, not that long. So it's about being upfront, which is pretty much, again, I've said it plenty of times, it's how I operate. It's about being upfront with people. And it's just how I work, isn't it, I suppose. So livestock systems. So we've now got a professional looking website, and it is professional, it's costing me a fortune. It's easy on the eye, it does what it needs to do, it's simple to navigate, it's free postage at £30, it's free PayPal use and other card uses. The only one I'm not going to take, guys, unless I can get a deal on it, is American Express, because the charges for using American Express are extortionate, hence why not really anyone takes them. There might be a way around that, but I don't know. But at the moment, I'm not taking American Express. And then true stock levels, so you can see where things are, images for everything on there. There will be embedded into the web page, there will be links to my YouTube channel for things that are going on, things that are relevant, not just waffles from me, but like reviews on new products and whatever it is. There'll be obviously special offer sections where something might just come in and I've got a bit of a special on it, whatever it might be. And then there'll be like almost like a live tour. There'll be a video showing you around the store, which will always be embedded there so that you can see what's happening in the store. Not live, that's something I spoke about last week. I might physically do a live War Games live, so you can physically watch me walk around the store, or that might get a little bit creepy, I don't know. But the other thing, and I've talked about it in both of the previous videos now, half an hour into this video, so hopefully people that didn't get 3 hours or 4 hours into the other one have got half an hour into this. I'm going to have, I do commission painting and I do commission conversion and building. One of the prerequisites of the staff that I employ is that not only will they have a knowledge of the other gaming systems, but they've got to be a good standard painter, and they're going to be able to build models. Build models isn't a difficult thing for everybody, but they've got to be able to do it, clean mold lines and things like that, because they'll be building stuff for me, for the store, and they'll be building your models when you buy them. You get to your checkout, you'll have decided whether it's in stock or not, and you decided whether you're going to go ahead. You then go to your next page, and before you finally press your payment, it'll give you options. So let's again, and this isn't the price I'm selling them. In fact, I'll use GW price of £25 for a box of Marines. So it'll come up, item only, £25. item built. So it would be built and attached to the base, unless you specifically ask for it not to be on the base because you want to do fancy bases. Item cleaned and built. You then have a third option, which would be item clean, built and painted, to your choice, or item clean, built, painted and foam supplied. So what that's doing, rather than me having to send you an email saying, oh, by the way, do you know that we paint models as well? Oh, by the way, do you know that we do conversions? It's giving you the option there and then. If you've got a tournament in 3 weeks' time and you're buying a quick army for it, and you just want them built and painted, hit the button and it's done. There will be a follow-up email. If you've asked for it to be painted, definitely there's a follow-up email turning around saying, right, well, what colours do you want it doing in? Have you got any models that you want to send me a photo of so I can try and match it up? Or have you got any ideas if this is a brand new army, how do you want me to paint it up for you? And we'll get it done. I'll do some of the painting. The other lads who work for me do some of the painting. If we get busy, then there are a few good commission painters in the area that I know, and I'll give the work to them. You won't pay any extra for it. You'll pay whatever the price is on the screen. If I have to give it to a commission painter, then I'm going to be paying a little bit more, but that's fine. It's business. That's what I've got to do. I'm offering it to you. It'll always be above tabletop standard. I can't ever see it being Golden Demon winning standard. Definitely not from me, because I don't paint to that level. But it's not to say that if I give it out to one of the commission painters, they might only have one level that they paint to, and it might be that level. You're still only paying the same price. You're not paying. I don't work in bandings where you've got a tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People paint to how they paint, and don't know whether Clayton's watching. He dropped a note saying he might be watching. But Clayton, friend of mine over from Australia, Claydog33, an awesome painter, had a dilemma not so long ago where he was asked to do tabletop standard, so it would be cheaper, and he found it harder to paint worse than to paint normal. Probably put more time and effort in to paint it to a lower standard than what he normally was, and wasn't happy with the work. He was sending pictures over to me and a couple of lads saying, listen, is this acceptable? I don't know, I just think it looks awful because it's not at the level that I normally do. I won't ask people to paint lower standards. I'll only ever ask people to paint to the level that they paint at, and it will be incorporated in that price. It might not work. People might not want to paint jobs done, but the amount of commission painters that are in work out there says to me that there is a need for it, and if it's just offered to you at point of sale, then you might just take on it, mightn't you? You might just jump on, and it's all good. Just jumped up to 8 viewers as well, so whoever's just joined us, welcome. I say, feel free, pop some questions in the box. Anything I'm talking about, pop the questions down so that we can I can either answer them, or I can move on to them when I'm finished on a certain topic. If anybody wants to join in and come on to the live chat, I'm more than happy for that as well, as long as we don't get idiots like we did last week, which we will say no more about. but yeah, so back to the website. It's there. The discounts will automatically be applied, and the prices will automatically, as you would expect with any website, that will automatically be calculated. But it's super easy to use, and that's available worldwide. It's the World Wide Web, isn't it? But certain products will only be available to certain countries. Let's say the guys out in Australia, you guys get a real hard time whether nobody seems to be able to sell to you, but it's to do with trade and laws and export and import and whatever. Remco, don't you think it'll be too much hay to carry all these things you were mentioning? Too much hay? Don't you think it'll be too much to carry all these things you're mentioning? If I'm making sense of the question, which I think I am, it could be. In fact, I'm going to come back to that question in a minute. Finish what we're saying. So yeah, Australia seems to get a hard time. Hardly anybody can trade to them. Some of my products are available to trade to the US and outside of Europe. Some aren't. But Europe's a big place, and there are other retailers in the US and Canada. There are other retailers in Australia. It's not to say that you can't get anything from me, and as I've said umpteen times over now, what you will still be getting from me is Wargames YouTube, which will grow and grow and grow and grow, and you will be getting delivered really good quality content. I'm not going to go down a Patreon route. I'm not going to go down like Money Wargaming with the vault. I see no need to do that. I'm charging people to buy products off me. I don't want to charge them for videos. There's work involved in the videos, but ultimately it's an advertising platform for my store, the videos, and I don't think I should be charging at that point. I think the way to look at it, and somebody said, but beards, funny enough, when I was with a Jaguar dealership and started growing a beard, and the dealer principal didn't like it, and he pulled me to one side and he said, why are you growing that, Martin? I said, because I hate shaving. Ultimately, I hate shaving, and I can't come in with stubble because it looks unprofessional, whereas a beard I'll be okay with. I said, why is there a problem? I said, am I going to upset customers? And he said, you might not upset customers by having a beard. You might never offend anybody by having a beard, but you'll definitely never offend anybody by not having a beard. I was like, all right, okay. And I understood what he meant. And that's kind of what I feel about Patreon and charging with YouTube. I might offend some people if I start charging and lose subscribers as a result of it. I'll never offend anybody by not charging for it. Yes, some people will get sick of adverts, but I've had monetization from the second it could. I don't earn much off it, but what I can get back in off it, and if my channel gets big enough, yeah, there'll be adverts. I get a little kick. You have to watch 5 seconds of it and then can skip. Occasionally, you even watch the advert because they grab your attention. That's not a lot to ask in a 30-minute video. If you've just got to watch 5 seconds worth of adverts, and it throws a couple of pence my way, I don't think that's a lot to ask. But I know some people get upset with the adverts. That I'm going to carry on with, unfortunately, for those that don't like it. But yeah, I'm not going to charge for the YouTube, but that's what you're getting. So forget the store. Forget the fact that you can't come in. Forget the fact that when you're pledging on this Kickstarter that membership's no use to me. Well, this is no use to me. That's no use to me because I'm not local. No, you're not local, but you're still buying into war games. You're still buying into, if you're within the EU, you're still being able to buy your products at a discounted price, all products at a discounted price with top quality customer service. Every product you buy will carry loyalty points, whether you're in store or online. The two combine as one, almost like a fuel save card, like nectar points or whatever it might be. And for every 250 points that you amass, 1 point per pound every time you get to 250 points, you get 10% off your next purchase on top of the discounts that are already there. You won't earn points on that 10% purchase, but you've just got an extra 10% off just for sticking with me, just for using me rather than one of these other big guys. I've got to give something back to you. You'll also, if you are a member, so from a Kickstarter point of view, if you do join one of the membership pledge levels, like the 50, 100 or 250 pound levels, then your membership works online as well. So you'd always get the discount. You'd always be notified of any tournaments that are going to happen 24 hours minimum before they actually get launched publicly, and you get priority booking as a result of that. So if you're happy traveling around the country to come to tournaments, then you're going to know about them soon, and you'll get discounts on them. Any painting masterclasses or any other demonstration days and things like that, any event that's organised that is chargeable, you will get a discount on if you wanted to travel up for it. But what you also get as being a member, as I said in the video, yesterday's video, I think it might have been, or maybe even the day before, is what I did say in the video, and I want to correct that. When I put the final T's and C's out, I will make a correction to it. I said I was going to do a draw every quarter and give people a £50 voucher. Well, I'm doing it every quarter for X amount of people. One member every single month one member is just going to receive a £50 voucher, whether it be virtual credit into their online account, or whether it be somebody who's physically coming into store. Doesn't matter. And I think that's better than doing X amount of people every 3 months. If you are a member of the store, online or physical, you can get, and it will literally just be a typical random.org. It'll be all the members. Boom, number 32 comes out, right? It's John Smith. There you go, £50. Spend it on what you want, and it's that simple. So there is advantages outside of the area of being a member. Definitely worth thinking about that one, guys. And I don't believe for 1 minute that covers the web. There must be more that I can say about the website. Clean, professional, free postage, free PayPal, easy to navigate. Will show true stock. It will give you the option of not putting the stock in. It'll give you the option of whether you want the building, the painting, and the foam to go with it. By the foam, I literally mean whatever you bought. If you want the relevant sheet of foam to carry those marines, or to carry that Land Raider, or to carry that storm bit, whatever you bought, I'll put that in at that point. So obviously it would be the other bits as well. Have you got glue? Have you got clippers? Have you got, they're just little add-on sale bits at the bottom. From a business point of view, it makes sense to have them. I don't want to ram it down your throat. I'm not going to be like Games Workshop. Oh, is there anything else you need today? Have you got plenty of glue? Have you got enough glue to do this? Have you got the paint you need to do? I'm not going to be a pushy salesman like that, but the website will naturally prompt you, because you might, we've all done it, where we run out of glue. Might just make you think, oh yeah, go on, yeah, I'll just add it on. It's only £2 for one of them. The Revell contactor glue. But yeah, I'm going to answer Remco's question now. While I'm doing that, you 8 guys that are watching, put some comments in now, either onto YouTube. I'll go on and look at them in a minute, or if you can, to the Q&A, press the Q&A button and ask questions about what I've just talked about the website, because I need your feedback on this, guys. And if you haven't already, then put some pledges in, or increase your pledges. I don't care how you do. Just let's see if we can get back over the £3,000 tonight. I'm just checking through these with Remco, and then I am going to answer yours. Corvus Miniatures, thanks for your comment there, mate. I'm currently uploading a video with a shout out, and I pledged earlier this evening. You have my support. Thank you very much. What I could do with, if you can either put back into a comment or say it onto the Q&A bit there, your pledge won't come through as Corvus Miniatures. So just so that I know who to attach the name to and everything, and I can make the message a little more personal for you then as well. Ready for battle. I'm going to buy the stuff from you that I can't find in Norwegian stores. That makes sense. I do trust you, because who would use a year of his life making videos on YouTube just to scam his subscribers for £5 grand? You know what, mate? That's a very good point. I've done this. I've been planning this store since last summer. If you look back through the history of my videos, I think it was about last July, August, I first mentioned about doing it. And at that point, I decided what direction to start taking my channel in. Once I started getting a certain amount of subscribers, I thought, right, it was all building towards a bigger picture, and there's no scam in the £5 grand. The £5 grand goes straight into the business. I can sit here and say to you the £5 grand is for deeper levels of stock, and I'm not lying to you when I say that. I could just as easily say to you, oh, the £5 grand is building the website and buying the tills, or the £5 grand is paying all the solicitors' fees, plus the surveyor's fees and this, that, and the other. Ultimately, my business plan is a total of £65,000. I've got 60 of it Well, I've got some of it, and then I'm getting funding for the other. I'm £5 short for what I want as my plan for my ideal opening. So I put the £5 out to Kickstarter, and they'll hopefully be able to supply it for me. It's looking good. It needs to look better. It's looking good. So yeah, I'm not scamming anyone, and I appreciate that. Obviously, yes, support your local stores. If you live in Norway and you've got Norwegian stores, then I would expect you to buy it from them, I suppose. But there will be stuff that I stock. You've already said, I think, could shoot me for bad memory here, sorry. I think it was the War Machine stuff that you were going to buy from me. You were going to buy War Machine Army, and I stocked that. Whichever one it was, I apologise for not knowing exactly what it was, but you'd mentioned it. The store I buy Vallejo paint from still have Christmas graphics on his webpage. It's terrible. That's the sort of thing I'm on about. It's attention to detail. I worked for years and years and years, as I've said in previous videos, as a troubleshooter for the motor trade. So I'd go into dealerships, motor dealerships. I'd spend a week assessing the sales department, find out what they were doing wrong and how they could do it better. And they didn't call me in. The manufacturer, I only ever worked for prestige dealers. So it was Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, people like that. And I'd go into these dealerships because the manufacturer would send me in. So Audi would send me in and say, right, they don't want you to come in because you're going to rip them to bits, but they need you to go in. And you go in, you'd be hated for the first month because you make so many changes and so many staff would either leave or be pushed out the door. You'd have to hire new people. But by the end of the third month, when the managers and the owners saw their profit levels go up, and the salesmen all saw bigger paychecks, and the customers were even more happy because the customer satisfaction had been taken care of, then all of a sudden I was getting invited out to play golf and to the pub and things like that. But for the first month or two, nobody wanted to speak to me. They'd been threatened and all sorts. But that was my job. If you make the customers happy, the price doesn't matter. But if you've got the price right and the customers happy, and just a little bit of working smart, which is why I was saying attention to detail, then all of a sudden everything just clicks into place. If your forecourt, from a car dealership point of view, is untidy, it makes the business look messy. And I'm talking, I used to have the cars lined up on angles, and every corner of the car, you could literally, if you wanted to, probably run a laser line down it, and they'd be spot on. And they'd all look uniform, the colours would be mixed correctly. It's shop display, it's shop windows. Now on the internet, you haven't got a physical shop, but the internet is your shop window. So you make your website look right. There's absolutely no excuse for that, having Christmas decorations on your website in June. Mind blown. Daniel Barnes, I'm from the Southport GW store, and if I weren't completing projects that I have, I would be donating to you right now. Cheers, Daniel. And I appreciate that. There are people that can't pledge because they've got other things going on or they haven't got any money. What I would say, at the risk of sounding cheeky, is everybody that's doing anything to do with this hobby, regardless of how big or small your projects have got a pound or two. So please, and I battered on a lot about it, please put a pound in, because if enough people just go, oh yeah, actually, go on then, I'll put a pound in because I've got that to spare, or £2, then it makes a difference. I know you don't get anything back for it, but the more backers I get, the higher my trending statistics go. The higher my trending statistics go, the further out the Kickstarter pushes from other websites. And it might just be some guy who's into Warhammer but has never heard of me, doesn't watch YouTube videos, but he's got a load of money in his back pocket burning a hole. He just goes, boom, there you go, there's £1. And it tips it all over. The more money that comes in through this, the better a store you've got. So Daniel, I'm not saying, well, you must pledge. And I appreciate you've got projects on the go. I don't know you by name. I probably do know you by face. Sample GW stuff. I probably do know you by face. In fact, comment back and give me a reason why I recognise you, because I know most of the guys that go into the Southport store. But if you've got literally £1, £2, stick it in there. If you can manage £10, which is now getting cheeky, but if you can manage a tenner, bear in mind you're going to get 5% off your next order, or off your first order, sorry, and also you're going to be within the chance of being one of at least 5 people to win a £75 store voucher to spend on anything you want. So think about that one, mate, if you don't mind. But yeah, right, so let's see. So going back to Remco's question, this all got interesting now. It's arguably better with just me, or is it? Tell me, is it better with just me and nobody else, just like chatting amongst ourselves? So Remco, don't you think it'll be too much to carry all these things you are mentioning? It could be, but I'm going to go from my sales background again. I'm going to give another proverb or saying, quote, whatever you want to call it. I was told, I went on a sales training course when I was about 18, 19. A guy called Peter Snow. It was kitchen sales. Terrible job. But he said to me in this training course, always aim for the moon, because the worst that happens is you fall amongst the stars. That's not a bad place to be. And that's how I've literally lived my career, my life, to be fair. If somebody ever gave me a target in a sales industry of, I don't know, from a car sales point of view, they might say, all right, your target is 20 cars this month. Fine, I needed to sell 25. My target was 25. Because if it didn't hit the 25, I'd probably do the 20. But it always aimed bigger. Always aim bigger than you want. Because it's another saying that comes in. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Got to change the message. You've got to go for it. Go big, go or go home. That's the whole ethos of this store. It's why it's such a big store. If I start getting to a point where all I can hear is bing, 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 then I'll stop that coming through the sound, because there'll be no music coming on. My internet sales take off that high that I need to employ another member of staff. Then I'll employ another member of staff, because there's a balance sheet somewhere. And when one suffers because I'm not spending money on staff, then I start spending money on staff. There are no shortage of people out there who are willing to come work in a hobby store. I will tell everybody, every prospective employee, that, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's not going to be as fun as you think it is. Working with the hobby doesn't mean, oh yeah, I get to play games all day. If you're working for me, you won't get to play games all day. I'm not a whip cracker, but I'm a businessman. And if I'm paying you money to do something, you will do it. Yes, you will get a chance to play games, but you'll also do a lot of things that don't involve playing games. You will be painting because you're told to paint, as opposed to, oh yeah, I've got a couple of hours spare, I fancy painting some models today. And if the store gets that busy, because I'm on a high street and I'm recruiting new people in, I might need to employ staff there. From a commission painting point of view, which is, I think, is probably what you're getting at there. If that goes nuts busy and every single person that purchases clicks on build now or build and paint now, then I will employ somebody. I will employ one of the local commission painters to work for me on a full-time basis, and I just arrange something with him, because I'm going to have enough work there to keep him busy. What I will have to be mindful of is the time that it will take to paint whatever's being clicked on, and that will be agreed. I haven't ironed that out, and I'm not going to try and pretend I have. This was an idea that I had a fortnight ago. I've thought more and more about it, but I haven't ironed the fine details out of how long it will take for me to build the models and how long it will take for me to paint the models. It depends. It won't be 48-hour delivery. I can almost guarantee that. But hopefully that answers your question there, Remco. Hopefully I will grow with the store. I'm also, happy is not the word, but I'm also understanding enough that if things go the other way and things start trailing off, you've got to let people go. It's never a nice thing letting a member of staff go, unless they're being a complete arse and steal them from you or whatever. It's not nice having to let people go, because A, it means your business isn't doing as well, and B, you're putting somebody out of a job. But I've done it enough times that I'm comfortable is not the right way, but I can do it if I need to, and I know when it needs to be done. I will say it again, and I will keep saying it. I'm a businessman first and a hobbyist second. The horse is very, very, very much before the cart on this. This is not a 5-year retirement plan. I don't think I'll open this and in 5 years' time I'll have made enough money that I can say, sod it to all of you lot, I'm not interested in you all. I've made millions of pounds. It's not going to make millions of quid. It will provide a living for me and my family. But for the first 12 months, my family probably aren't going to see very much of me, because I'm not going to be taking any, if many, days off. Business just won't allow it. But I've got a very, very young family, so I don't have to worry about holidays, because we're not going to be going abroad with a brand new baby. Because I'm not going to be open until midday, I'll get each morning with my kids. George and my eldest daughter, she starts school in September, so I'll be able to drop her off at school every morning. I'll be able to pick her up and I can take her to school every morning. How many dads get to take the daughter to school every morning? It's quality of life. I gave up a career, which I've explained what I used to do, and I used to get paid an awful lot of money to do what I did. Hence why, when you look at my YouTube videos of my collection, my stash of 40k stuff, there's thousands and thousands of pounds worth of models sat unpainted, unbuilt, because I used to have more money than time. But my family life suffered for it, so all that stopped. And you've got to work hard to get something out of life. You've got to put the effort in, but it's getting that work-life balance. I don't mind if I'm open until 11 o'clock at night, so that people who are working 9 to 5 can come in and have games in the evening. I don't mind that, because the kids go to bed at 7 o'clock, and I won't be that late every single night. So if I'm 3, maybe 4 nights a week I don't see the girls go to bed, then I can live with that, because the other 3 nights it'll be me talking them in and reading the stories to them. But I'll be getting up with them in the morning, having breakfast with them, and not rushing out to work, which so many people in this day and age are. Families, I've seen it with other people who've been successful in business, but they don't know who the kids are. I don't want that. Plus, I could get my girls into the hobby, much to my wife's dismay, it might happen. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Rocco. I have no way of knowing how successful this business is going to be. But if I put enough, if I throw enough mud at the wall, then some of it's got to stick, and I'll learn from that. So the things that don't sell, I won't replenish the stock on. I'll sell my way out of the stock, and I won't resell it, but I'll put something else in. And it's going to be a bit of a juggling act at first. But a good manager or a good business owner doesn't let you see that he's juggling. So you'll never know that whether I'm doing really well or whether I'm really struggling. You just always see the same side of me. Yeah, things are all going well. That might be fantastic. That might be, it's really not, but you just won't know it from me. So that does that one. Darby Conway, hi mate. When you said pictures for the items, are you going to use your own or have people supply them? From what I understand, the GW, for example, ones cannot be used. I know that's a very relevant question, but I'm curious. Most of the manufacturers, that's a good question. Most of the manufacturers supply point of sale on web images, and you use their stock photos. There's a website, off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of, and it's stock photos for every barcoded item in the world, as far as I know, has a stock image to it. Now they're not all there, obviously, but you can purchase from there. And if GW, from my understanding, GW will let me use their stock images. They won't let me use the same images they have on their website, but they'll let me use that they have a stock collection of images. If they don't, I've got a professional studio set up in the loft of the store, so every product will be photographed on the same white background with a clear shot of either the box or the miniatures inside it, or both. And if that's the case, then the whole range would be done that way, because I want it to look as uniform as possible. I don't want where you see some people who have a picture of the Codex as a stock picture, but then the Space Marines is a picture they've taken themselves, and then another one says awaiting image. It needs to look right. Again, it's that attention to detail. But I'll double check. I'll write that down. GW images. I'll double check GW about that, because they said to me that all points of sale and web promotion is available. Maybe it's different in Canada. I don't know, but I think one way or the other, I'll have it sorted. Remco sounds like a good strategy. Cheers, mate. You could have tripped me up with that question, but that's what I want people to do. Don't go out of your way to try and be an arse with me, but ask me questions that are going to have to make me think of an answer. Don't just pat me on the back for the sake of patting me on the back. By all means, pat me on the back, but if you think of something, I'm not scared of answering any question. If I can't answer it, I won't. But guys, you should know me by now. I'll answer anything in as truthful a manner as I can. It might be a long-winded answer, they always are, but hey ho. Mammoth Painting Studio, hi Mike. How much Black Library stuff will you stock? I know a few places only have a token selection. Right, I have an issue with Black Library. That I need to address with Black Library. I want to stock the entire, not the entire range of Black Library. I want you to be able to buy the entire range through the web store, but it won't be physically in stock. In my mind, I have all the new release novels on the shelf where the White Dwarfs are and everything. I've actually in my planogram that I've set out for the store and how the boxes are all going to be laid out. Because I've done all that, by the way, guys. Not only do I know roughly what the store is going to look like, I've decided what box of what miniature is going where on the GW wall. On the other walls, I've set space aside based on how deep in the range is. So if this Kickstarter doesn't fund, there might be an empty section of wall because everything's had to be shot back because I haven't got the extra £5 in stock. But there is a section for Black Library plus White Dwarf and Visions, and then the other Black Library books underneath. So yeah, there's one whole rack of shelves for you because I love books. I can't bother trying to turn the laptop around, but all my Black Library stuff is on a set of shelves that I'm looking at there now, plus my Stephen King books and my other bits and bobs, and my autobiographies for rock stars. With White Dwarf and Visions, I get them on sale or return, which for anyone that doesn't know what that means, if I don't sell the magazine, so if I get 30 copies of White Dwarf and I only sell 20, I can send 10 back and they give me the money back for them. That doesn't happen with Black Library. It does in the Games Workshop store, so they're not bothered about how much stock they carry, but it does with everything in Games Workshop. You watch what goes missing off the shelves this weekend in Games Workshop, and all that stock will just be written off. I don't get to write it all off, so unless they give me sale or return on their books, I'm not going to stock their books because you can't sell them all, and books after a certain period of time become very cheap elsewhere. I'm going to have a library full of books, all that Black Library stuff that I've said that's over there. It's all going to be in the store for people to use and people to read. You can rent the book off me for a couple of quid. You can take the book away, bring it back when you're finished, take another one. There'd obviously be a deposit on the book to make sure that you bring it back, or you can just sit and read it for free in the store. And the same with all. I've got White Dwarf from 1989 onwards. I've got at least one of every White Dwarf from from then. A lot of them have got multiples of, and there'll be other books and stuff, and people have said they're going to be happy to donate other literature for other game systems, or just books in general that are connected in some way to war and wargaming. So yes, I want to stock Black Library, but it will very much be determined on the terms I can get with them. I think is what I'm saying, Mike. It will all be available to order from the website, the same as the web exclusives. So Dark Eldar, you play Dark Eldar, Mike. Reaver jet bikes are a web exclusive only. So you can't walk into a Games Workshop store and buy a pack of Reaver jet bikes at the moment. So you've got to go online and order them. Same with me. You can still order them through me, but they won't be physically in stock. They will be on that 7 to 10 day stock level, because I've got to wait for them to come to me. They are ordered, as I say, as a web exclusive, and I get nowhere near as much discount off them. The books, I would probably do the same way, unless I could get a better terms with them. Same with Forge World. I'm not going to be stocking Forge World because I can't. There is no trade account for Forge World, so for me to stock it, I've got to spend the money up front, same retail cost that you're going to pay for it, and then hope that somebody buys it off me for the same price that I paid for it. So I make no profit on it, but I've got to spend out on it. I arguably could charge 5% more than Forge World do, but offer you free shipping on it, which would then make me 7% cheaper than Forge World. But then I've got all the hassles of, if it's a miscast or anything like that, you've got to bring it back through me to go back through them. So until Forge World give trade accounts, I won't be stocking Forge World. Hence why nobody else does. I'd make a fortune here, because if they gave me, even if they only gave me 20% discount and I charged full retail, the fact that I was doing free shipping, I could probably make a living just off Forge World, as arrogant as that sounds. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Mike. Thanks for watching as well. All three of you that I've just answered, thanks for watching. Let's see what's going on the YouTube comments. Should be able to see who. Oh, Daniel Barnes replied. Let's see. Should be able to see who I am now. I'll be able to donate a couple of quid tomorrow. Good lad. I need to know who this guy is just so I can make sure. I recognise you now from the store. Yeah, that's fine, mate. I recognise you now. I just didn't know that was your name, and I'm sorry if that makes me rude. I've come across that many people now in the store that I just don't know everybody's name. Wayne Caitman, where the devil have you been, sir? Wayne is one of my subscribers who used to comment on every single video that I did, and has given me some advice along the way. A couple of links that I did check out, by the way, mate. But it was an eBay store, and the laws changed now with Games Workshop, where I can sell on eBay, but I don't particularly want to. And this guy was buying secondhand stuff anyway and making a business. But you disappeared off the face of the earth, mate. And I genuinely noticed that you were one of the people that I noticed because you stopped commenting. So, hi Martin, how's it going, brother? Have you seen a channel called GBHL, Great British Hobbit League Podcast? These lads are die-hard Hobbit strategy battle game hobbyists, and they play a ton loads. I need to go into the comments now to see the rest of that, don't I? I'll get in and read the rest of that comment in a minute, mate. I've not seen them, never heard of them. And Hobbit, I'm going to alienate people now, I think. Some people will agree, some people won't. Hobbit doesn't sell well. Fact. GW, if you believe rumours, will drop it when we all know that the new line license ends this year, and I don't see any practical business sense reason why GW would continue with new line. They've been forced into making the models for the Hobbit. It's not sold well. Lord of the Rings was phenomenal in the mid 2000s through to the late 2000s, but it's a dead line for them. They put no emphasis on it. It never seems to sell in the stores. The guys who I've spoken to who've got independent stores never sell the stuff of it. So I don't think I'm going to be stocking it on my shelves. Again, you would have access to it through the web store because I can get it in for you. It's not something I'm going to invest money into. So yes, Wayne, I will check them out just out of curiosity, because I love the fact that there are die-hard Hobbit strategy game players out there. That blows me mind, because I didn't think anybody really played the game. So I need to have a listen to some of them podcasts while I'm driving around in my taxi. I need to see the rest of your comment then. But either reply on the comments or put it into the Q&A, mate. I want to know. Stock that on your shelves. I want to know where you've been. Unless it's really personal, then obviously you don't have to tell me. Tournament. Oh, they do a ton load of tournaments through the year. You need to make contact with them. Your store will be perfect for hosting a tournament or two throughout the year, league season. They invest literally thousands of pounds annually and they have a strong YouTube community. The main protagonists are based in Stockport, but league members are peppered all over the UK and beyond. I'm confident your Kickstarter will be of interest to them. Yeah, you're probably right about getting in touch with them. If their main base is in Stockport, and that means they're using Element Games, which is the Northwest Gaming Centre, huge tournament centre in Stockport. If they're already in Stockport, what have I got to offer them to bring them away from Stockport up to me? Change the scene, cheaper prices, possibly. I'm not cheaper than Element Games, so it's hard to pull people away from where they're already loyal to. It's not to say that I can't do it, but again, it comes back to I would have to invest in Hobbit in the store, and for one group of people. From a business point of view, I can't stock something for a minority. I've got to stock it because there is an interest in it. Yes, I will get in touch with them because I think it's the right thing to do anyway. And you know what? I'll speak to them and see what they say. Because they can, as I say, they can always buy through me. It just won't be next day delivery. It would be anything up to 10 days delivery. And they might be interested in coming up. They might be sick of the Northwest Gaming Centre. I don't know. It doesn't hurt to ask the question, does it? But cheers for that one, Mike. Mike, Mama's Paint Studio, cheers for the answer, Martin. Managed to wangle some extra money to increase my pledge. So I'm trying to buy as much from you. We'll both now say, good man, good man. That's just come through. Aceface can't join us. I'm spending some time with the missus after the CW Chill Wargamers show, but you have my full support right behind you, bro. And I'll be up to meet and greet people when you open wood. Fantastic. You've just heard me say that. He's written that down, and I don't know whether he's still watching with one earphone in while pretending to listen to the wife. Grand opening day. Aceface is going to be there. We'll make it happen. We'll get him there. Which is all good. Mike, there you go, back over 3,000 and your first biggest pledge to, oh no, it's a sec, what have you done there, mate? Wow. Right, there is a reason for the stunned silence. This is humble Martin that you're seeing now. You don't often see me lost for words. I love you, Mike. That's all I've got to say back to that. That's belief right there. Mammoth Painting Studio. I'm going to tell people because you've written it on here anyway, mate. So I don't care whether you want anonymity. That's not a real word, but you know the one I'm trying to say. Mike had pledged £250 to me on the first pledgeathon. One of the guys who did that, which got a lifetime membership and an extra 10% discount for 2 full years. But he's just increased his pledge, just said there, managed to wangle some extra money to increase his pledge. And it's just increased to £1,000. So he's my first £1,000 pledger, backer, whatever the bloody called. So what Mike's done now, other than push me up to what, 3,766, was it? I'll double check in a second. He pushed me to near on my goal, which is fantastic. But more importantly, he's believed in me. Even more important than that is he's just secured anything hobby related that I can or do sell. And bear in mind, I might not have it on my shelves, but I can order it for you. Whatever it costs me, it's all it's going to cost Mike for the next 2 years. The cost price, 2 years, that's fantastic. It's an awful lot of money to spend in backing somebody, I appreciate that. But you'll easily make it back over 2 years. And I've mentioned about the big pledges in the past. Wasn't sure whether anybody was ever going to take one on, because it is a lot of money. Even if you talk about putting out on a credit card, £1,000 is a lot of money. And Mike's just gone and done it. First biggest pledge. Doff my hat to you. You'll get a War Games t-shirt, which has actually got, can I turn around without breaking everything? Squashed in the corner here. It's got War Games written on the back. They will actually have the website on the back as well. And shall we play a game? For some reason, it didn't print properly with that when the guy printed them up. So I'm going to another printer, better quality t-shirts as well. You get a War Games mug, and you get a blankety-blank checkbook and pen. How many people? Here's one then. So we're nearly an hour and a half into this, an hour and 20 minutes into this. Anybody watching at this point, blankety-blank checkbook and pen. How many people know what I'm talking about with that? Comments below. Bonus imaginary stars for those that know what I'm talking about. The same as the BFH. If anybody can tell me who used to give the blankety-blank checkbook and pen and what a BFH is, bonus points. Just for fun, guys. There's no actual prizes. Ben is coming on. Ben is the gentleman when I started this show up. I said this gentleman hopefully going to come on with some questions, and I don't know what they are. And there's a bit of trepidation involved, but it's me. Let's just go through them. So I'm going to come to Ben's question in a minute because it's just popped up. Evening, Ben. Hope you had a good time in work, if there's ever such a thing. But Wayne's just replied, so I want to go back to that one first. Oh, Wayne's just resubscribed to me. Fantastic. So he's not replied yet. Michael Gannon has subscribed to you. My subscription level's going up and up, which is always a good thing as well. What's that all about? Right, so that's gone off. Right, let's get back to you guys rather than just looking down. I'm trying to navigate so much technology. There's a tablet there as well. Turn that one off then. So I don't know Ben. Never met Ben. I haven't even read his question yet. I'm avoiding reading his question because I don't want it to take what I'm about to say. I put a message out on lots of groups on Facebook a few weeks ago before the Kickstarter started, and as you'd expect, whenever you put anything out to social media, people find it easier to be nasty or to troll or to say things when it's faceless and you can just type it because there's no comeback than they will do face to face. And most of the groups were fine. Some people asked questions, some people shot it down in flames. Haters are going to hate. But there was one particular group which Ben's a part of, and I was getting a bit of flack on there. It was just trolls, ultimately. That's all it was just trolls. And I'm happy to deal with them. You have to feed the trolls. So anybody who has seen me on Facebook and thinks, oh, why are you even giving them anything? They're just blatantly trolling you. I do it because you've got to. If you don't feed them a little bit, it almost shows fear. Almost shows that you're too scared to answer them. To anybody who's not involved in that conversation but reads into it, if they don't see a reply come from me, it's almost as if, all right, well, yeah, he knows they're a troll, but he should have at least said something back. So I always say something back, and then I get to a point, and my normal comment is, right, I'm fed up of feeding now, so we can move along. And I just cut it at that. And Ben was very supportive of what I was saying. And it was about charging for tables. People were saying that, oh, well, GW don't charge for tables, so I'll just use theirs. Ben, again, one of these people who came on and said, well, that's fine, but they've only got a 4-foot table and one table, as opposed to 12, 15 tables with fantastic terrain. And it was almost a bit of, I think I used the expression in the comments, it was almost a bit of an evangelist for me. And it was nice to feel a bit of support. Now, having said all that, Ben's warned me that he's going to ask me some questions. I don't know what they are. So I've just said all these nice things about him. I might read these questions in a minute and go, oh man, you're killing me. But let's delay it for another second because we'll do like a bit of an expected note. Let's just. You're old like me. It wasn't Terry Wogan, Buggy. It wasn't. I think he did do it a little bit. That's not who I was on about. That catchphrase, "Break the brown checkbook and pen." That wasn't Terry Wogan. And yes, I am old like you. I was in Bolton the other day. I almost tried to get in touch with you on Facebook because I was sat in Bolton for 2 hours. Bazooka J Rambo. Les Dawson, that's the one. So, though Terry Wogan presented the show first with his wire microphone. Yeah, he did have that weird one. Yeah, I get it. Points to both of you. Neither of you told me what a BFH is, though. Think again, 80s quiz shows. Right, questions. So, Ben's asking, what will your policy be on systems you don't have a table for? Will you charge for use of your store? Some systems, such as Infinity, do require a good amount of terrain, and there is no guarantee a large number of people will play it. Good question. So, on the main retail floor of the shop, as you're walking through the doors and you see how all the shop's laid out, I think, if my measurements are correct, there's going to be 15 tables. That might actually end up being 12, 13. It depends, and they're a mixture of 3x3, 4x4, and 7x4. The reason there are 7x4, as I've said in other ones, is it gives you that foot strip down the side where you can put dead piles and reserves for the bigger games. You don't tend to need that extra space on, say, a Malifaux table, 3x3, or an X-Wing table, because there's so few models involved. You can just take them off and put them back in your bag or your case. Worth mentioning this, any newcomers to the hobby, so any new recruits, won't be charged to play on tables. There's no charge for demo games. And your first, I don't know, 5 to 10 games, 5 to 7 games, you won't be charged to use the tables, because I need to get you into the hobby. And if I start charging you from after you've had a demo game, then I'm not doing anyone any favors. It won't be a strictly policed thing either. It's not going to be, oh, right, here's a card, you've got this many games for free. It will be on a learning basis, because it might be that you try out 7 different games over 7 different weeks, and then you think, actually, do you know what? War Machine's the one for me. So then you start playing a couple of games of War Machine, but you need a couple of games to get into it. Any game, you need a few games to start getting an understanding. You then settle on it, you start buying your army. At that point, you start paying to use the tables or buy your membership. So that covers the demo table side of it. There are going to be 50 plus tables across the next 3 floors, which will be tournament tables. Those rooms will be for hire. So if somebody wants to come in and have a big apocalypse game, they can use the tables and everything that are upstairs. They can use any terrain that's up there, bring some of their own by all means. And you can just hire the room out for a weekend, and your stuff's safe. Nobody will be able to go up there because you've hired it out. Clubs, if they want to come up and do their own mini tournaments, they can hire the rooms out. Clubs in general they can put their club in there. Like Merseyside Mammoths is my nearest club. I've started going there quite a few times now. And they're in a church at the moment, and they're happy there. There's no stress on them to move over to me. I've already committed to them that I won't open late on a Tuesday night, because if I'm open late on a Tuesday, it would have a knock-on effect on their attendance. It just naturally would, I think. So out of respect for them, I'm not going to do that because they shop at my store. I don't want to piss them off. But the offer will be there to them, and I'll speak with Glenn, who's the chairman of the committee. The offer will be there that they could move the club to the store, and we could sort something out. It might not be appropriate, and it might not be something they want to do, but the option's there, and we just need to talk about it. They've got a big tournament going on this weekend. The WPS is running this weekend, so good luck. Any of you that are watching, good luck, Mammoths, this weekend. Hope you do well. Yeah, that's a conversation further down the line. With regards to what do I do if I haven't got a demo table, I intend, it's a key word, to have a demo table for every single game that I sell, or the ability to demonstrate every game that I sell. Now, when I've written it down, I've got 15 key games that I'm going to be stocking, which is 15 tables, funnily enough. There are more than 15 games, but some are played on the same size. So the ones that need a specific table, like I'm getting a bolt action table made up. Mel Bose, who's the terrain tutor, is a friend of mine, and we've been chatting different things with his channel and my store and what have you. And Mel's making a kick-ass, and I mean a kick-ass, bolt action table. When we meet up at Warhammer World in a couple of weeks, we're going to talk about it more in depth. This is going to be the table to end all table for bolt action. We're doing a Normandy beach landing table. It's going to be fantastically epic, and it will be in the store. It will be transportable in case we ever need to take it anywhere. I'll plan to move it out then. But really, that's only ever probably going to play bolt action. You might get a couple of other games on it, but it's very specific to what it is. Whereas the War Machine table, and I thought before, is scatter terrain. It won't be a physical built board for the demo. So I can take War Machine off and put something else on. The 40k tables, there might be 3 or 4 40k tables, I can clear them and put other games on. And the thing is, because the space underneath, it will just swap around. So if somebody wants to come in and play Infinity, which is very terrain heavy, as you say, I've not played Infinity yet. It looks great. I've just not got around to a game. But Drop Zone Commander, it's a different scale, but it's also very terrain heavy. So it might be that the Drop Zone table is actually the same as the Infinity table, and all we need to do is swap the terrain around. That might be the answer. I haven't fine-tuned the answer to it yet. I haven't fine-tuned the detail to it, but the idea is that whatever is stocked on the shelf, the table next to it represents that game, so that as you're playing the demo game, you're also looking at the miniatures and wanting to, oh yeah, well, I'll have them, asking questions. And again, it's just simple sales. You're buying those products whilst you're playing the game because they're next to you. It's just easy to do. But it might be that 2 game systems are next to each other on one table, which flips over, not literally flips over, but you take one off and put the other one on, and it takes minutes. It's all going to be nice and simple. The cabinet with the miniatures in would just swap out, and the way I'll have all the miniatures displayed in the cabinet would be the starter armies, for example, and they'll all be on a clear perspex sheet, so that I literally slide the whole army out and bring it across. I'm not talking for one model at a time. Everything comes out to go on, and everything goes back on, and you swap the game around. And then you don't swap it around again until somebody else comes in and wants to play the other one. So hopefully that answers that one. Because yeah, there is no guarantee that a large number of people are going to play one game. The majority of the games are 28 to 30 mil, and the 28 to 30 mil is so close in scale that from a terrain point of view, you can cross systems to some extent. Some tables will just be epic tables. I say I fully intend for this bolt action table to be epic. There will be a 40k table, which will be a static table as such, because it will be that heavily designed that it will only ever play 40k on it. Anybody that's read through the Batman rule book for Night Miniatures game Batman, if you look through there, you've got the Arkham Asylum board, which looks fantastic. You've got some Gotham boards, which look fantastic. But the Joker's Playground looks amazing. If I can replicate that, that will probably be a more or less fixed board, but it's only a small board. It's only a 3x3 board, so I can lift that one off, put it underneath, and lift a blank one up and put it on. So it's still interchangeable. And then all the board games, well, they're board games. Yes, there will be some out with the tiles out, but for the sake of a couple of minutes, you can put one away and get another one out. Whilst I'm talking about that, from a board game point of view, there'll be lots of board games available for sale, but they won't all be open with demo sets. But if you want to see what's inside a board game, you just come and ask me. I'll just open one up. And hopefully when I open it up to show you what's inside it and we like everything that's inside it, you'll then buy it. If not, I've got an open box, and it saves me on opening it for the next person that wants to look at it. Somebody will still buy it eventually, even if I have to discount it down a little bit because it's been opened. If I've opened it for you, what I'm showing to you is that I'm confident enough in my stock that you will like what I'm selling. If you don't like it, there's a reason. And if I don't like it after I've opened it up, then maybe it just goes in a sale bin somewhere and I never buy it back in again. So I hope that answers that question, Ben. Moggy's saying there, if I'm ever in Bolton again, give him a shout. We can have a coffee in the chat, buddy. I was up Mornington Road. It was a taxi fare. Took somebody up there and I had to wait 2 hours and then bring them back. So that's what I was up there for. They don't come around often. Ben, again, personally, £3.50 to me doesn't seem like much. Would you class table rental as a premium service? No, I wouldn't class it as a premium service. In my business plan, I have to account for everywhere I think money's going to come in from. Tables isn't one of them. I mentioned it on my business plan to my accountant, but brought it in anywhere. It is there for more or less two things. One is to supply the money that is needed to replace and maintain the tables. It doesn't matter how much I love what's in my store and how gentle I am with it. People break things. They don't do it on purpose. Some people do. Some people are just clumsy. Some people drop things. Accidents happen. Whatever it is, terrain gets broken. And it costs money to replace it, guys. It's not free. Nobody gives it to me for free and paints it for me free. That's a lie. All my startup sets, most of the startup sets, I'm getting given by the manufacturers. I've got to paint them all up. I'm sat now looking at starter for bolt action. So I've got US and Germans to paint up there, build and paint up. I've got War Machine starter box set to paint up. I've got Warzone Resurrection box set to paint up. I've got Batman miniatures to paint up. What else have I got that's not there? I've got my own 40k stuff, so I'm fine. I've got somebody painting a Dark Vengeance box set for me because I never want to paint another one of them. When 9th edition lands, I'm obviously going to have one of them painting up. Watch this space this weekend. It's not coming out this weekend. That's not me telling you that. but I wouldn't be buying any books tomorrow or Friday. Let's just maybe say that side of it. Aliens versus Predator. I'm going to have to paint one of those up when that arrives. Malifaux, I'm going to have to paint 2 crews of Malifaux up. I'm going to have to paint a drop zone commander setup, an Infinity setup. It's taken forever. I haven't got enough time to paint them all. And here's a question back to you guys now, regardless of whether you pledge money or not, whether you're backing the project or not. If anybody, I'll just say this politically correct, the painting's got to be to a decent standard. Again, it doesn't have to be Golden Demon, but it can't be eBay Pro painted. You guys know what I mean by that. Anybody that knows me and not only trusts me, but I've got a certain amount of relationship back with you, that wants to paint a starter setup for me and not charge me any money for doing it. That's the key bit, not charge me any money for doing it. Give me a shout and you can have a pick of a starter set, and I need them painting up. I just need everything painting up to go on these tables for people to play with, and I haven't got the time to get everything built and painted up for the middle of September. It's too many starter sets to paint up, and they would suffer quality wise. They need to be as good as they can be, because it will sell. If they've got a really, I've been into some Games Workshops where the Dark Vengeance set looks like it was painted by an 8-year-old. You're not selling. You can still sell the game and you can still get people wrapped up into it, but if they don't look good, the paint job on them, then it's hard to sell. Whereas if they look fantastic, it inspires people, makes people want to paint. So anybody that wants to get in touch with me privately, send me an email, martin@wargamesuk.co.uk, and we can discuss that by all means. But yeah, it's not tangent spend, sorry. So it's not a premium service, it's there to replace and maintain the terrain. The other reason it's there is, let's use Games Workshop as an example. You walk into Games Workshop and there are people sat around the tables spending no money, and playing games which are stopping other people who are spending money coming in and playing the games. So still come into my store and not spend any money. I'm fine with that. There's a chill out area for you to go and sit. Hopefully you'll buy a coffee or a Mars bar or whatever. Come and bring your models in and paint them. Hopefully you bought the models from me. I'm not going to kick you out because you bought a model off eBay and you bring it into my store and paint it. But if you only ever buy your models off eBay and your paints off eBay, if you never buy anything off me and you keep coming into my store and just using my place to sit up and paint in your hobby area, then we end up having a discussion. The difference between Games Workshop and me is the Games Workshop managers work for Games Workshop. I work for me. I can say what I want to people. I'm not rude, I'm not nasty, but there's got to be a bit of give and take. But the tables should be there for people who want to play games. If you go to a club, average price of a club is £3 or £4 a week. So when you play one game, maybe you get 2 games in. Come to my store, you might be there for 10 hours, you might be there for 2 hours. Pay £3.50, and you've got your game. On a good table, and there'll always be a table available for you, because if there isn't one on the main retail floor, there's 50 of them upstairs. Go and play on one of them. It's a bit more private as well. You might just opt to go and play on one of those or one of the scenic tables. The options are going to be there for you. It's an open store. The only one room that's locked away from people is the loft. And that's because it's a recording studio up there for YouTube. It would be on an invite only. If you're playing a game against me that we're recording for a battle report, that's when you go up into there. And it doesn't have to be £3.50. Now, £3.50 gets you a full day's gaming. Everything else is free. It's only to use the tables at £3.50. If you're going to be in once a week or a couple of times a week, then don't be spending £3.50. Take a monthly membership. I put it in my YouTube video the other day. £20 buys you a full month's membership. That's cheaper than £3.50 a week then, surely, isn't it? Is it? It's like 3, 6, 12. No, it's only 15 quid, to be fair. So you'd have to be coming in more than once a week to do that. the £20 one to make sense. But if you had a fortnight off work, or if you were up in the area on work, whatever it might be worth you saying, well, do you know what, I'm going to be getting in 2 or 3 times a week. That makes sense. £60 gets you a half-year membership. £100 gets you a full year's membership. £100 split over 52 weeks is £1.92 a week. In my video, I said it was £2 something. It's not. £1.92 a week. It's £100 up front, but for £1.92 a week, you've got unlimited 7 days a week gaming availability, plus discounts off any future events that are happening, tournaments or events of painting classes and what have you. Because we'll be running airbrush courses, or we'll be running painting masterclasses. Not me personally, I'm getting painters in who run these painting classes. I've spoken to a couple already, and they're going to run these classes. And there's a charge for them, but you get discounts as a member. It's worth thinking about. And that's after the Kickstarter's finished. That's going to cost you £100. At the moment, for £50, you get your £100, plus you get 3 10% vouchers. So it's a bit of a winner, isn't it? So anybody who hasn't, put £50, you get them. And as I said earlier on in the video, if you are a member, then once every month, I don't know what I'll do, maybe it'll be the first Saturday of every month, however I go about doing it, probably will be the first Saturday every month, or the first of each month. One member will be drawn from the pool of members, and they get £50 worth of store credit. You don't have to be local to do that. You can do that on the internet. I know I covered that earlier on, but we're a lot further into it now. We're an hour and 45 minutes into it, so I'm re-mentioning that part of it because it's a big thing. You can get £100 worth of membership for 50 quid and 3 10% vouchers. It's a massive, massive pledge. That £100 gets you £200 worth of membership because it's 2 years membership, and 10% vouchers. 250 quid is 2 years worth of 10% discount. No matter how much you purchase, whether you make a purchase every day or once a year, and membership for life. You'd want to believe that if you had membership for life, one of those months your name's going to get drawn and you're going to win 50 quid. Some of you 250 quid straight back, isn't it? Plus all those discounts that you get. I'm selling the pledges again because ultimately this is a Kickstarter video, although I haven't called it that tonight. But yeah, rambling again. Ben, hopefully that answers that question. It's not a premium service. I think I'm understanding your question there. Personally, £3.50 to me doesn't seem like much. Would you class table rental as a premium service? No, it's to stop loiterers using the tables and putting people off coming into the store, and it's also to replenish the terrain on the tables, I suppose. Very long-winded answer that. I apologise. In fact, no, you know, I don't apologise because it's me. I've said what I needed to say. Another. Jim. Jim with what looks to be Chinese symbols after him. What kind of paint you need? Drop me a message, Jim. I say Martin at wargamesuk.co.uk. Drop us a message there if you can put a couple of pictures of some work that you've done. Just show it, and it's not me being funny. Anybody that's offering me help, and I need to take it, but I need to know that the level of work's decent as well. And I'm sorry if that sounds rude, but I've got to be straight. Wayne, wasn't to resubscribe, mate. I've got 2 phones, business and personal, so I'm sub twice. Sweet. Just to touch upon the GBHL lads again, they more or less tour the country. I think they have 2 tournaments. Yeah, I'm going to get in touch with them, mate. I've written it down beside me here to go back into the comments and have a look at it because I've never heard of them. And that's something that's probably quite obvious to a lot of you is, and one of the things that the War Machine lads in this Northwest group have tried to attack me for. No, attack's probably the wrong way, but we'll go with it. The purposes of it, because I don't understand that game. No, I don't yet. But you know what? I never used to understand 40k, and I would say I've got a comprehensive knowledge of 40k. And I pick it up very quick. I pick anything up very quick as long as I've got an interest in it. If I'm selling it, I have to be interested in it, so I will understand how to play to a decent level each of these games. And as with anybody, I'll still make mistakes. I'll still get rules wrong. What I will have is members of staff, as I said before. Not only will the members of staff need to be able to paint and build models, they also will be employed partly based upon their gaming knowledge. I don't need a 40k expert in the shop. Doesn't mean I don't want one, but I'm 40k, so I've got that. I'm all right with that. I've got a handle on that. X-Wing, I'm fine with that, so I've got a handle on that. But what I haven't got a handle on is War Machine and Odds. It's a big player. Somebody suggested that it is now globally more popular than 40k. I refuse to believe that. And this isn't me being pro GW or anti War Machine. I think War Machine, I watched a game of it on Tuesday night. I was watching that and Malifaux at the same time. It was brilliant, whilst reading the Batman book. And I'm looking forward to playing War Machine next week and getting some games in and starting to learn how to play it. I'm looking forward to deciding who my faction is going to be. I think it's either going to be Crix, or the Circle of Ouroboros, with the giant rats and everything. I like the look of them. The models appeal to me, so I'll make the rules work to my benefit then. But you can't really have a go at me for not knowing how to play a game system, because I can learn to play the game system. And you as customers are entitled to say what you want about any other manufacturer. Everybody beats up on GW because they're the biggest, and for so many years they were the only. So everybody beats up on them. Oh, they're this, they're that, they're too expensive, they've broken the rules. My opinion, and it's only my opinion, 7th edition is the best edition of 40k ever. My opinion, because it lets you do whatever you want. It lets you be whatever kind of player you want and play in a style that suits you. You've always got that right to refuse the douche. So if somebody comes and brings an army where you just think, what's the point in that? Just don't play it. It's not rocket science. Go and play another game. But from a store point of view, or store owner point of view, I need to stock everything. I can't afford to turn around and go, well, I don't like War Machine. I don't like the mechanics of it. I don't like the people who play it because they all hate GW. They're customers to sell products to them. I might, after playing a couple of games of War Machine, I might despise it. I doubt it, but I might despise it. I'm playing bolt action. I'm not a World War II buff. I don't know historically enough about World War II. I know the basics of it that I learned in school, but I'm no expert on it. But I'm going to learn to play it. And you know what? It might not float my boat, but I'm still going to learn to play it. I'm still going to learn to play it to a level that I like, because I have to do it. Ben has just put up there, my next question was actually on staff. It looks like you're answering it. But yeah, so to come back into the staff side of it, sorry for preempting you there, sorry, Ben. The staff will need to know how to play other games, because I want an expert in each game, and we as a team of staff will learn as we go along. It's going to be me and one other full-time member of staff, who I think I've already got in place, as long as he still wants the job, and as long as when it all comes to it, it works out for him. I'm confident. Through chats that we've had, he's been to the shop and what have you, and he plays War Machine Huts. To my knowledge, he plays them pretty damn well as well. I've touched on one of the forums, on one of the Facebook pages about press gang members, and somebody said you can't have a press gang member can't be employed by a game store. So fine, he's not a press gang member, and if he works well, he never will be. But he'll be playing War Machine. He also plays Bolt Action and Flames of War. So I've got somebody who already knows how to play those games. He also plays 40k Fantasy, because most people do. I'm going to be all over Malifaux in no time, because I love the look of that game. I've watched a couple of games of it online. I've watched a couple of games in the club, and I'm excited to play Malifaux. It's like literally, I'm chomping at the bit for it. I just refuse to go out and buy a crew because I can get them cheaper, because I'm a retailer. I don't want to pay the full price anymore. There's some honesty for it. But yeah, I will become hopefully a Malifaux expert. Something that I've hardly talked about on these videos is card games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, World of Warcraft. I believe there's one called Cards Against Humanity, which I just don't know whether I'm going to stock that or not. If I stock it, it can't be played in store because it'd be too offensive for people. And I don't know whether it might give the wrong impression to the wrong people. It goes back to that whole thing. By not stocking it, I'm not going to offend anybody. By stocking it, I might offend somebody. So I don't know with that one. I believe it's quite outrageous. But I don't know how to play Magic. Massive, 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 massive community. Friday Night Magic's huge. The money you make off Friday Night Magic as a business is huge. Not necessarily on the cards, but whilst people are sat there playing the games, they do all buy sweets, drinks, and crisps and what have you. And there is, I think it's £3 or whatever, that you charge each person, because it's a tournament thing, and it ranks up and up and up and up, and then you go to regionals and whatever. And it's like poker, getting a bracelet, from what I can understand. And you're part of an international league ultimately. So I don't play it though. Again, you know what? I can learn it. I've got a big enough brain. I hope anybody that watches me understands I'm not thick. I'm not a Mensa student by any standards. I left school at GCSE, didn't do any A-levels, got no degree behind me. Got a lot of life experience. I'm 36 in a couple of months. Left school obviously at 16. So in that 20 years I've seen, done a lot, and I'm a quick learner. So I'll learn as much as I can about each of the games, and I'll learn the triggers for each of the games so that I know how to get along with the people that do know them. And more than anything, I'll use the people in the shop. I play 40k. If I'm in a Games Workshop store and the manager's busy and somebody comes in and starts asking, I sell 40k to the mind. I've played so many demo games in GW stores because the manager's been busy. Because we're like that, aren't we? That's this community thing again. You're happy to show people, because you're showing off your own models and you're showing off your knowledge of the rules. There is a bit of showmanship in it, but also you're helping somebody new get into it. Because let's be honest, we need new recruits. That's why I'm opening on the high street as well. People have said to me, I must be crazy opening on the high street. The costs are going to be massive, the rent and the rates and everything else. I've got them all under control. I've got a very good deal on the rents. Rates I've got sorted for a certain amount of time, and then yeah, they will be expensive, but I've budgeted in for them for year 3. And the big thing is high street presence. And as I've said on one of my videos, have a look on Google Maps. Have a look at Lord Street, Southport, Google Maps. It's chocker. It's not a city centre busy. Some people would argue that it's a bit of a retirement place. It's quite an old place. But there is young people there. It's a seaside resort as well. There's caravan parks and camping sites there as well. So you'll get young kids coming in, not like tiny kids, I mean, sort of like 10-year-olds and upwards coming in. You might just pick a ball game up to play in the caravan while they're on holiday for a week. Or they might already play one of these games and they're being dragged away with the parents. So actually they want to spend the week while the parents are going off sightseeing and looking at 200-year-old sand dunes or whatever there is in Southport, that they come in and play games. It's fine. They buy stuff while they're in there as well, don't they? Because they spend the holiday money. You've also got normal traffic that's coming through. And by having Star Wars at the front, it drags people through. By having Batman in the window, it drags people in, or Aliens versus Predator, it drags people in. When you've got them in, there's half a chance that you're going to turn that they're walking into an interest. You then create the interest into a desire, you turn the desire into a sale. But if you've got a new hobbyist, we all know how we got hooked. Every single, there's only 4 of you watching physically now, but anybody that's watching this video at this point, ask yourself, how did you get into the hobby? Whatever age you were, and if you're old enough that you've been into it, took a break and come back, what got you back into it? Because we click like that. Once you're into it, you're into it. But I've got to get the people. So I'm not going to get them if I'm in a little retail, and so in a little industrial unit on an industrial estate or off some little side street. I'm going to get fresh blood coming in by being on the high street. I sell a lot of board games, I think, to high street customers. Might sell a lot of books, might just sell models for people to build and paint, but I'll also convert new recruits, which will make, there's already a decent community in Southport and in the Northwest in general, and I'll make it bigger. Let me hit on that. I don't know whether this might come up as a question, Ben. I've answered that one, hopefully. I'm in the Northwest, I'm not just in Southport. The store is, but it's a big area. The next nearest place to me on a similar style to me is the War Game store in Bromley. And Dave, the guy who runs it, a lovely fella, gave me a lot of his time. Went over and saw him. I'm going to go back and see him again in a couple of weeks, and didn't hesitate to help. Loads of information, and if by some chance he's watching this or any of you guys know him, pass my regards and let him know that I am saying nice things about him. He's the next nearest place to me, and he's from Southport, probably about an hour, maybe just over an hour's drive. And then got Stockport, which is 2.5 hours drive away. Manchester, 2 hours away. There isn't anything in Liverpool. There's the GW store, there's the Silent Teacup, but that's more of a cafe than anything. I'm not going to put the Silent Teacup down. It does what it does. It's just not the same as what I'm doing. It's not a big retail store with lots of game tables and an atmosphere for new recruits. It more is a club and gamer cafe, which is fantastic, and it works for its own reasons. But there's nothing further up north, really. I think there's a little shop in Blackpool, and there's lots of little tiny shops which might have a couple of GW products and a couple of flocks and stuff. I mean, they've got little bits of everything. I've had people emailing me from Blackpool, North End of Preston, Bolton, Moggy. I don't know whether you're still watching, but you said obviously you'll happily come over from Bolton. People will drive an hour or two. At the moment, they're driving to Bromley and Stockport. I'm closer, so they'll come to me. It's a big circle. You might not come in every day, but you might get out once or twice a week, or maybe once or twice a month. Just come and play some games. If I'm available, I'll play games with anyone. I'm happy. I don't expect to be playing many games, to be fair, because I'm going to be busy. And I accept that by opening the hobby store, I'll probably do less hobby than I've ever done. But I'm still surrounded by it. I'm still surrounded by the people, and I can talk to the people, and so on and so forth. So it is. It's a northwest shop. It's not just a Southport shop. There are trains in from Manchester, from Northern Lands, like from Wigan and places like that. Can all get in easy enough. And I hope to see all of it, I suppose. Close that question off now about the staff. I hope that answered the staff question, Ben. Next one. Oh, have you got another one? Ooh, Remco's making a night. Sorry, I've just gone quiet there, guys. Just a message that's just completely thrown my mind askew. When I was talking about magic, Warhammer Mania. Just close it there. Right, that makes sense why he's put that on there now. A message that had just come through with a link to a YouTube channel. But now, how does that kind of make sense? Reese, a lad who lives in South Wales, coming over to Warhammer Mania, and he's a big Magic player as well. So I've asked him to, he's got 5 or 6 different decks built up. I've asked him to bring them with him to Warhammer Mania so that he can show me through the game. I have a couple of games in the evening. Can't play in the daytime because we're in Warhammer World and they'll frown at that apparently. So we'll do it at night time. Just close that video down because I think it's making this one lag. Sorry about that, I've got a little bit jitty there. But yeah, that's only 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. I'll use this as a bit of a chance to plug that along with the Kickstarter. 22nd, 23rd of June, Warhammer Mania is being held at Warhammer World in Nottingham. Something I put together, and it's predominantly it was set up for the YouTube community. So a lot of us watch each other's videos and talk to each other via YouTube and Google Plus and that. There's a chance for us all to meet up, but it's open to anyone that wants to come down. Just those faces that you see on YouTube from the UK, there's going to be a few of them there. There's about 20 of us, 25 of us going down, playing some games against each other. I've created a Google Plus page where you can put challenges out and so on and so forth. And then on the Tuesday, on the second day in the afternoon, we're doing a Royal Rumble. So we've got like a combat arena made, and we'll start off with 2 combatants in hand-to-hand combat straight away, no shooting or anything like that. And then every other round of combat, a random person will be selected to bring their character in, 150 points maximum. When you come in and you fight against each other, and whoever stands at the end wins a prize. There is a prize involved in it. It's nothing special to it. It's a fun prize, but it's all good. So if you want to come down to Warhammer Mania, by all means just turn up and come and say hello. It would be much better from my point of view. Again, if you drop me either a message in the comments here or get in touch with me, however, I've said my email address, martin@wargamesuk.co.uk. Let me know if you want to come down. I can send you an entry form for the Royal Rumble. You need to let me know who your character is and points they are and what they're equipped with. And also I need your entrance music, because that's how you will know that you've been called out. I'll just press shuffle. Somebody's music will come on and they're the next person that's walking in. And it's a fight. It's a wrestling Royal Rumble, but with 40k combat, just for fun. And there's probably about 7 or 8 spaces I would have thought left before the Royal Rumble will get too big. So because we can get a few more people down there, feel free. It's all free. There's no charge for anything in the event other than your food and drink and any accommodation you might need. That's Monday the 22nd, it's Tuesday the 23rd of June, so literally 2 and a bit weeks. Yeah, gone off tangent again. Worth mentioning. So obviously people dropping in and out of the conversation, see the viewers going up and down, which is good. So those of you that are watching at the moment, type a question and ask me. I've never got a shortage of things to say, but I want to say things that are relevant to you. I talked about the online store, which is a big thing I wanted to push tonight, and I made sure I did that early on. Talked about stock, how I'm going to do the tables, some good questions there that came from Ben. Staff. On the note of staff, staff number 1, I say the full-time member of staff is pretty much in place. Staff number 2, who will get 25 to 30 hours a week, isn't in place. So anyone that's local enough and only needs those sort of hours at normal sort of retail pay, it's not going to be silly amounts of money. For anybody who's interested, again, drop me an email, martin@wargamesuk.co.uk. Drop your CV into me, and more importantly than your CV, give me a little chat about yourself and why you'd want to come and work for me and what you can bring for me, if that makes sense. Other than that, let's get some pledges in, guys. Mike's been fantastic. He's knocked us up to. Let's have a look. Right, can I just screen share? How do I do that? Press that button, and you get to see. Wow, that's cool. I don't know what I've done with that little box. I'm now going to just minimize that down. Go over to my kick track. Refresh the page, unless it's doing it for me by the looks of it. Refresh that page. There you go. So current pledge level. I'm hoping that you guys. Let me just check. Wait a second. That's not working. You guys aren't watching what I'm watching here. Let's try this again. Screen share. That's the one. Right, so you guys should be able to see that there now. That's kick track. This site's called, and it tracks Kickstarters. 74% funded, £3,726. I'm trending towards hitting £5,250, which means 105% goal. If I physically go onto that page, scroll down, that means I need £142 per day in pledges with the week that's left. It's actually 10 days left. But if I get £142 per day, I'll achieve the goal. Yeah, I'm just checking the maths on that. And then there's all sorts of different graphs and stuff here, like how many pledges and how many backers and whatever. But this is the good one. So to be fair, I'd already clicked on. So there's that one. Shows the little chart going up and up and up and up and up and up. And this is the line. This is my goal line, and then that's my trending line. So based on the performance of the campaign so far, it's saying that I might hit 5,250, which is great because that means I'm funded. But that's the one there. That's what I've got, 3,726. Received £720 today in total, which most of that's just come from Mike. As I say, I've had one go down and then back up a bit, another one go off completely, and another one reduce down. It just happens. But I need to receive £142 a day through till a week on Saturday to make this happen. That's the wrong page. Project. 61 backers. 8 days to go. I actually would classes because it started at 7:45 in the evening. So classes have been in. That much coming. Check the dashboard. 74% funded, 61 backers. There's a nice little graph there showing where I need to get to for 100%. Where the money's come from. So £732 of it's come direct from Kickstarter. This is an interesting one, this. Whereas £2,994 of it has come from external referrers. And what that means is people who have just regularly check up on Kickstarter have come across the project and they've seen it inside Kickstarter and they've liked it and they've given money to it. The big bulk of the money there, though, as you can see, £3 grand practically of the money has come from external, and that's from me doing the YouTube, me shouting out to the community, all the shout out you guys are doing for me, all that stuff. That's what's bringing in the revenue. Hence why I'm asking you to, if you've shared it, fantastic, keep sharing the videos. If you can take some time just to put a video together, just saying, oh, Martin's a really nice guy and he really needs your help. Now just say a few bits about the project and whether you've pledged or not yourself, and ask people. Someone said to me, oh, there's no point in me doing that because everybody that's subbed to me is already subbed to you because you're a bigger channel. Not necessarily the case. Even if you've got one subscriber that I've not got, you're reaching them, and they might be the person that pledges and puts me over the line. It is genuinely important to me that we get what we can. Anyway, off that, back to me, because you came here to see me tonight, didn't you? Me and my War Games t-shirt. I don't like this t-shirt at all. It's a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt, and it's baggy in the wrong places and tight in the wrong places, and that's not because I've got a fat belly. Or maybe it is. Right, let's see if we got any more comments and questions. 11:15, so we've been on for 2 and a bit hours. I said 3 hours. I'm happy to go for 3 hours, or I'm happy to finish it now. It'd be great if I could hit 4,000 before I left tonight, though, wouldn't it? If we could get some more pledges in tonight, that'd be fantastic. Do you know what? Here's an idea as well, because I've done it with my friends. You don't have to be into wargaming to get behind this project, because it's £1. It's all you need to throw in. Ask your friends. Listen, would you be willing to help somebody else? Would you be willing to donate £1? Most of them will say, no, not at all. Or someone might just say, yeah, and they're willing to do it. Share it with non-gamers as well. People don't mind helping other people as long as it's not expensive, as long as it doesn't take an age to do. If it's too difficult to do, people won't do it. But it's not what else. But you just never know who's going to do it. I put it out to my friends on Facebook. One of them gave me 250 quid. So I didn't expect that. A couple of them gave me a couple of quid here and there. And the weird thing is, I said it in one of the early videos. If I walk around with a bucket, shaking it with Help Martin, Kickstarter, if I could walk around every one of your houses, if I've got 900 and whatever subscribers now, if I could walk around every one of those houses, I think 75, 80, maybe even more percent would happily throw £1 or £2 in. Some would throw more in, some would just say no. But most people, because you're getting something from me, you're getting YouTube videos from me, most people will just happily stick a quid or £2 in. So just get on, put £1 on. It's all this, £1, £2, £5, £10. £10 to start getting something for your money. And it's great what you're getting. It's a chance of winning 75 quid. Let's be honest, we're only now, what did I just say? I was on 1,237. £3,726, so we need 1,200. Why is my math so terrible now? I used to be business manager for years. 26, 34, 30, 74. £1,274 is all I need now. It's all I need. I would like to see it surpass that, and I'd like to see it surpass it by a good £500 to £1,000. Not from a stretch goal perspective. I'd love to see it get up to stretch goals, which I've not put on the campaign because I was nowhere near getting them. But you never know whether people are going to, like what's happened today, where a couple of people have reduced pledges or cancelled pledges. That happens, and what I would hate is to be going on to the final day and being on £5,300, and then all of a sudden I lose I lose the £500 guy, for example, or I lose 3 £100 guys and I drop a pound below. Because if I don't get £5 grand, I don't get anything. Can't stress how important that bit is as well. So I'm going to be made up when this Kickstarter's finished. It's taking so much out of me, but it's good. It's a good bit of market research. It lets me know what the guys up there actually think of me, what they think of my ideas, how much support there is out there, how much of a business is out there. I've got a lot of questions that I wouldn't have got asked those questions if I hadn't done the Kickstarter. But it does need to work. There's no two ways about it. It needs to work, otherwise I don't open the way I want to open. That's just the way it is. I don't know, maybe this weekend, it's a week after payday now, so the bills have gone out of people's banks, they know what's left in the bank, and unfortunately everybody's probably skint because that's normally what happens. But all I'm saying is, if your hobby budget for this month was 50, 60, 70 quid, chuck a tenner in my way, because you'll get the benefits back, and you will, and you know how much I'll appreciate it as well. I'm getting a bit too beggy now, so let's move on. Because none of you are asking me questions, got 4 of you watching there, and you're all being quiet. There's only 3 of you watching now because I shouted. Maybe that's what it is. It's horrible not knowing who the 3 are as well. Just don't know who's watching. It doesn't come up with so-and-so has joined. So-and-so has joined. Does anybody want to join in for the last, let's call it another half an hour, until midnight, so just over half an hour. Does anybody want to join in and actually chat live with me and with anybody else that's watching now or in the future? I'm happy for that. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite people. Copy the link. And then close that down. Dooby Duck Bus, do you remember that? Dooby Quack Quack. Oh, nobody said about BFH, by the way. BFH is Bus Fare Home from Bullseye. That's all you want. You want your BFH. Or you could be like that unfortunate guy who won a speedboat but lived in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, which is the most central town in Britain. There's no water anywhere near there. It's a speedboat from. My channel. How does this work? No. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to. That's what I want. It's going to go a bit echoey maybe for a second now. That's what I want to do. Right, so in the comments on the video now, I've just put a link, which if you click on that, it will let you jump live into the chat, should you want to. Whilst I'm here, I'll look through those comments to make sure I'm not missing. Corvus Miniatures, for some reason I wasn't subscribed to you. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, I have checked all some comments waiting for review. All right, you have that. Nick. Forever sharing. Right, I'm back. I'm down to 3 viewers. Still no one's joining. Yeah, sure. Mark Senior. Are the GW paints sold at much markup? Do you know? Everything. GW, whether it's a pot of paint, which is the cheapest thing they sell, or whether it be the new Imperial Knight, whatever their most expensive in-store kit is, you get the same discount regardless, which as standard is 36%. You can then increase that to 40% if you jump through several different hoops. You get 2% for something and 2% for something else. But from a budgeting plan, I work on a 36%. I will achieve the 40% discount, but I have to tell myself I'm only getting the 36 because the other money's not necessarily always there. It's for payment and amount of stock and whatever, and I should just happily hit both of those. I'm a quick payer. I don't take credit. That's something to worth knowing as well. All of the stock in store will be owned outright by me. It's not on a loan or anything like that. It's not on credit. When I buy it, I pay for it because that's just the way I work. Because that way, if I have to close the doors down, I've got all the stock, and I can sell the stock to get myself out of. If I had to close the business, at least I've got physical stock that I can sell. Somebody is trying to join. I can see a mouse moving around the screen. It's a black screen. I'm sure they'll come on in a second, whoever you are.
Hey there.
Ben. Hi, mate. You okay?
I am not too bad.
Yeah. You've got a black screen, which I don't know whether that is intentional.
I don't have a webcam.
That's fine. You don't have to show your face anyway. There are all sorts of funny little options to put pictures up and stuff, but don't worry about it. We can hear your voice. That's the main thing.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah, no worries. There you go. There's a picture of you.
Yeah, that's a bit old. I'd rather not show that.
It was a fleeting image.
Oh, it's me with Craig Charles.
But just while I'm still answering Mark's question, there was GW paint's expensive for what you get, but it's not bad paint. I use Vallejo predominantly, but that's because I use an airbrush a lot. But there are certain things that I don't use GW paint for. In fact, if I tilt that camera, there you go, you're down to my hobby desk that I'm working on currently. And you can see here, these are the paints that I'm currently using. And I've got some GW paints, got some Vallejo paints, glues, and etc. etc. So I mix and match between them. I'll be stocking both. I have to stock GW paints if I'm stocking their models. I will be stocking Vallejo because that's the weapon of choice for most painters, I think, nowadays. The Minotaur stuff is hard to get hold of in the UK. And I think people buy Minotaur because it says Badger, and people seem to think Badger is the name to have an airbrushing. I'd argue differently, but that's because I don't like Badger products. I still think Vallejo is better. P3 is a good range of paints. The Army Painter stuff's not bad. I'm going to have Army Painter in stock as well. Potentially P3, although I just don't know whether I need their range as well as GW, as well as Vallejo, as well as Army Painter. I don't know. That will be a trial and error thing. But markup wise, they're all about the same. They all sell for around $2 to $2.50 a pot, depending on where you're buying them from. But they're 12mm bottles, the little GW ones. They're 17mm bottles, so you get 5mm more, typically for 40 pence less. And it goes straight into your airbrush, and you drop it onto your palette in drops rather than scooping it out with a brush. It's easier for me in that sense. But that's Mark's question finished. So, Ben, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cool. Well, first and foremost, as it's the first time I've ever spoken to you, hello. And thank you again, even though I've said it on video to you, but I've not been able to speak to you personally. Thanks for coming on and asking questions and for showing me some support on that Facebook page. I appreciate that.
It seems like there were a few skeptics
Yeah.
about your Kickstarter.
And rightly so. At the end of the day, I'm a guy who's come on and has asked for a small amount of money, in fairness, to set a shop up. And I didn't give much more information than that initially because I wanted to see the response. And people quite rightly, what? So you want us to just like fund your stock? I couldn't open with £5 worth of stock. I'd be closed within a week. It's now 32 grand worth of stock I'm opening with. And some people don't get it because they're not into business. Some people don't get it because they just think they know better. And some people don't get it because they just like to moan and complain. And who was it? Taylor Swift. Dare I even acknowledge the fact that I know who she is? Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate. They always will. But yeah, as you say, they were skeptical and they just don't get it. Some people, and it's not for everybody. And a Kickstarter is not for everybody, and that's why you put it out there. Some people buy into it, some people don't. But it is what it is. So, do you have any more questions? More importantly, Ben.
I think you pretty much answered.
Sorry, you cut off then. You there, Ben? I think I might have lost you. Can't hear anything. Still see your screen, so you're still with me. In fact, you actually told me because.
All right, seems to be back now.
There you go. Yeah, you're back now. Sorry, yeah, I missed your answer this when I said, "Is there any more questions?" I think you were going to say I've pretty much answered them.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good though. That's fair enough. As long as I've answered them and the answers were good, then that's all right.
I pretty much just wanted some, some pretty controversial answers.
Yeah, and was it controversial?
Well, some people do actually think that, 350 is a lot. I didn't.
No.
I wanted to see a view on it.
Yeah, it's not. Just not a lot of money. It is if you were doing it every day, but then if you were doing it every day, you'd have a membership.
Well, yeah.
Which is
I'm not.
£2 a week, exactly. And I just think, I mean, do you go to a club like on a weekly basis or anything? Do you attend like a gaming club?
Yeah. I go to a club in Blackpool, but I'm also a member of another club in Preston.
Oh, right, okay. Now, the one in Preston, is that £20 a year?
Yeah.
Right. Because somebody was talking about this the other day on one of the other Facebook pages. That's the only club I know of that's £20 a year, and they've got absolutely amazing tables with absolutely amazing terrain, like really cheap food and drink available, and there's a shop underneath which sells every hobby product that you could possibly ever want, and you get all that for £20 a year. Is that right?
Well, the club members that help run it are pretty dedicated. The person that runs the shop, he knows what he's doing, and he's pretty good at doing what he does. So it all works.
Which shop is it, if you don't mind me asking? I didn't know it was a shop.
It's called Harlequins.
All right, okay. And is it a big shop? Is it got lots of tables? Is it similar to what Amsterdam? I've never heard of Harlequins. I've never seen it on the internet or anything. Is he a small hobby shop which just stocks a small range, or has he got a good deep range of most systems?
He gets what's popular with the clientele, with the club.
Yeah, makes sense. Is his name Mark?
No.
It was Mark who was telling me about it on Facebook. He said, I think it was off the Facebook page, off the Bolt Action group, I think it was. Mark, somebody, can't remember.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well because he manages to sort out all of the game members there, and to be honest, it's where I get a lot of my stuff from.
Which is fair comment, yeah. And what sort of discount does he offer? If you don't mind me asking again.
Good question.
And the fact that you don't know instantly just proves my point from before. If you advertise that you're giving 20% discounts, you will attract a certain kind of person. Other than that, people buy because they're in there. They don't care what the discount is. That's why we buy GW from GW sometimes.
I know it's I think it's about 10%, but I've recently been buying Infinity, but I just buy it off him because when he says that he can get it in, I know he can get it in.
Exactly that. You know it's discounted, which is good enough, but you don't know. I'm not going to advertise anywhere on my website, on any of my Facebook page or anything. I'm not going to say 15% off GW or 20% or 5%. It will just be discounted, and it will be obvious that it's discounted because it will be cheaper than GW or cheaper than Infinity. Don't have their own store, to be fair, but it's Corvus Belly, isn't it? Infinity.
Yeah.
And the nightmare with Infinity, which I'm sure you're much more aware of than I am, is stock's a nightmare at the moment because it's a Spanish company and they've got a Spanish attitude to it, which is mañana, do it tomorrow. It just seems that it's like a 6-week delay, unless the distributor is on the ball and has got the right equipment in straight up, which he'll be using the same guy as me, which is Simple Miniatures. They're the distributor for Infinity.
Well, I can't really answer that one. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who that is.
I think they're the only, other than going direct to Corvus Belly, then I think Simple Miniatures are the only distributor for them. And having spoke with him, he said that and the Batman range, both being Spanish, are the hardest ones to keep in stock because they're just strange to deal with, apparently. But yeah, I'll add them in. But I'm glad I've just had that conversation with you, though, because you've just confirmed it's not about what the percentage is. It's about having the stock when you go for it, and also having the faith that if somebody says they're going to get something for you, that you know you will.
I think when it can come to Games Workshop products, that the percentage can be more of a factor, though. Mainly for the fact is that you can get Games Workshop anywhere. Yes. Games Workshop is the easiest product to get.
Of course it is, yeah. And that's why your discounts are that little bit higher on those. War Machine, for example, not allowed to sell less than 10%. You won't find a UK retailer, bricks and mortar or online, selling War Machine at more than 10%, other than the odd starter set here and there, because they just stop supplying them. They won't have it.
No, I think they're only allowed to do it if it's a limited sale or something like that.
That's it. I could do like a promotional weekend where it'd be like massive Infinity sale this weekend only, 20% off all Infinity. But if I do it for more than a weekend, I won't get any more stock off. They'll just hinder me with stock, and they're quite straight and upfront about it. I was in the factory the other day because it's in Liverpool, the factory, and I was in there looking at them, all the stuff that they've got, and he was dead straight with me. He said, "Listen, if you do this, we'll stop your stock." I was like, I like that. And all the manufacturers should be like that, because it puts everybody on a level playing field. Because let's say War Machine, for example, if everybody in the UK is selling at the same price, which is 10% off, then your decision on who you buy from is based on either locality or loyalty, isn't it then? Because if everybody's offering the same price, you then buy off the people, you don't buy off the price. Whereas GW, some of it is done on price, obviously. You're back, your microphone's back on, that's good.
Well, the Batman range is apparently very good.
Models are horrible to put together. If you spend the time on them, it's like a hole underneath the body for the legs to click into, and obviously then you glue it together, it doesn't fit. There's a lot of shame and filling. It's like the older Forge World products when things just don't meet up properly. But if you can put the time and effort into making them right, then they're amazing. The detail is fantastic on them, and it's Batman. It's just they look so good. You can buy all different, but you can buy the Adam West version of Batman, the Michael Keaton one. There's the Christian Bale. There's all the different types of Batmans.
I think there's the odd one that you can't get because it's under license.
Yeah, George Clooney's not available, thankfully. Neither's Val Kilmer, but they were never Batman anyway, in my eyes. But Heath Ledger's available as the Joker, or Jack Nicholson was the Joker. And then the name escapes me, the guy who's playing the Joker, the new Joker. I'm not too keen on it myself, but Bane, as in Arkham, the games that were available on the PlayStation, the Arkham City games, the Bane out of that is very different than Bane in the movie, but you can buy both of them, and they're just lovely models.
Yeah, I've also been told that the game plays very well.
Yeah, I've not played the game yet. It's on my list like this of games to play. But I've heard the same. I've heard that the mechanics are simple, straightforward, but fun. The same with Aliens versus Predator. Now, those I have seen the minis for. Wow.
Yeah, I saw the minis last weekend in Birmingham.
Oh, were you at the expo? Where? Yeah.
Yeah.
They just. People say the Games Workshop make the best miniatures on the market, and I would normally agree with that for the best part. But those Aliens versus Predator, they're some serious models there.
Have a look at the Praetorian, and you might be wishing that this was a Tyrannid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a nice model. I think it was a Praetorian. It's either a Praetorian or a Pred Alien.
Yeah, I say I've not got all of them, but I know. And if you look in my YouTube channel, or even if you just type into YouTube alien themed Tyrannid army, it'll come up with me. And I built for a tournament an alien themed army, and I kept it to warriors. I kept it to alien looking models, so it didn't have Carnifexes in there. The only thing I put in there was a Doom and Malantai, which I made out of a Malantai, and I just made it look like a big alien. And the Queen obviously was my Swarm Lord. I put loads of effort into them, but because I love aliens, these minis, these Protoss minis are fantastic. Rob Alderman, who's the CEO of Protoss, he's been in touch with me over Warzone and AVP. And I said to him, I said, "Oh, I use Batman as an example. The Batman minis are something special, though." He said, "If you like them," he said, "you're going to love these." And then when I finally saw these minis, and I haven't had one in my hand, I've only seen it through friends who picked it up at the expo last week, and they're just so nice. And again, the game's meant to play really well. Don't know whether they'll ever do an expansion for it though.
No.
Well, they had that much trouble getting this one out because Fox apparently was just a nightmare to deal with. And
yeah, the the guy that designed the game was telling me that. He said that it's taken him about a year after the Kickstarter ended just to actually get it printed.
Yeah, it's all down to Fox copyright, and you can imagine Fox are a big company, Prodos are a small company, but they've wanted that much of a say so that I just think Prodos must be looking at it thinking, yeah, these might be great miniatures, this might be a great game, it might sell phenomenally well, but the headache involved in trying to do an expansion, you might write it off. It depends how well it sells, I suppose, but it looks great. I'm gutted that I'm not open now, so that I can capitalize on sales of that product, because it's going to fly off the shelves. But as opposed to Terminator Genesis, have you seen that?
No, I've not seen that yet.
Again, I've not seen it in the flesh, so to speak, but there's a
I got a tiny mini of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was pretty cool.
What, the sculpt?
I was,
Disappointed? You're allowed to say that. It's okay.
yeah.
Because that's what I'm going to say. I would liken it to models from the early 2000s. We've moved on more than they have, and for such a big film, I would have thought that they would have been better sculpted minis. Quite disappointing. But the game apparently is really good, and the game plays nicely. Just don't expect much from your models. But they're the sort of things, like said, that Aliens vs Predator, Terminator, Zombicide, the new Halo Battlefield game. All those are the sort of thing that, by being on the high street, I will sell droves of them. Especially over Christmas, people will be coming in, and it's brand names with them. Everyone knows who Batman is, everyone knows what Star Wars is, everyone knows what Aliens is. So they'll come on off the streets and they'll buy them for presents for people. Whereas the Games Workshop and the War Machine stuff will be to people that know what it is. It's a stepping stone, isn't it? So little Johnny gets a copy of, I don't know, Zombicide for Christmas off his nan, because that's what she's coming and bought him in some weird world. Oh, where did you get that from, Nan? I got it from War Games in Southport. Then he comes in, knows that there's an expansion for it, comes in to buy the expansion of the Zombicide. All of a sudden sees all of these tables with all these other fantastic games, starts playing them, and the next thing he's buying a £400 40k on it. That's the plan. to be honest, it might be a bit brutal, but ultimately that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sell them onto one thing, and it naturally sells. It just sells itself, this hobby. We all want the new stuff.
I mean, I'm not really a big GW player at the minute, but I have spent quite a bit on Infinity and War Machine.
Yeah, I think it was War Machine. It was the War Machine group that we came across each other, I suppose, really, wasn't it? And I tend to find, speaking to people, that the people who are vested into War Machine tend to either have an absolute hatred towards GW, or they've just moved away from it, for many different reasons, most of them valid. I've got no argument with. But there doesn't seem to be many who are playing the both. If you know what I mean. Another one, you might or might not have played. Have you played Kings of War?
I've never actually played it.
Because I hear lots of good things about that, so that's another one that I think.
Yeah, can never seem to find a group of people that play it.
Right. Well, come down to Southport, because I've spoken to Mantic, because I want Mars Attacks. I just think that's so.
Yeah, I saw the new Walkers. They were very nice.
It's just so much fun, that game, that I've got to have it in. If for no other reason, that I can just go, that sells it to me. And if I'm going to stock that, then I may as well put Kings of War in. And then I think, is it Dragon Age Saga or Dragon Saga that they're doing? That'll be out towards the end of the year.
Oh, Dungeon Saga.
Dungeon Saga, that's it.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the miniatures were poor on that, but you know they were adequate.
Yeah, and that sums Mantic up. And I'm sorry if somebody who's a Mantic fan is watching this video. Mantic don't make poor quality miniatures, but they're not of the same quality as, say, Games Workshop or even Privateer Press. Privateer Press are good miniatures, but they're not to GW standards.
No.
Malifaux, I would argue that possibly Malifaux are of a better standard than Privateer Press. But the problem I have with Malifaux miniatures is there's no room for conversion with them. You make that model the way that you make that model, it's not easily converted.
The majority of them are characters, though.
Yeah, that's it. But it's if you wanted three different, you might want three of the same person in the crew, but make them all look different, and it's hard to do it from what I can see with the minis. I'm not bothered because I just love the game so much. I just, I'm a little bit keen with that game. But that's one of the things I always say GW got going for them. Yes, they're a bit more expensive. Ben? Ben? Don't quite know what's happening. Ben? Yeah. Right. Sorry about that, guys. I've just muted Ben. Not too sure what happened there. Chatting and then, well, you all there, but bit strange. Ben, give me a shout. Send me a message on Facebook or whatever. Let me know that you're all right. As I say, a little bit strange. Pray to Luke. Hi guys. Hi mate. Oh, are you coming to Warhammer Mania? Luke, you need to let me know. I think you're in the group, but I don't know whether you're actually coming down or not. So let me know. What on earth just happened to Ben then? I'm going to unmute him just to see what happens. I think he's muted himself now. Pass. Haven't got a clue, guys. But on that note, it's 5 to 12. I said I was going to run this for 3 hours. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to finish on time. I could talk forever, as always. Started chatting then when Ben came on about different companies out there. To wrap that up, what I was in the middle of saying was GW Minis, one of the good things about them, all that people will learn about the price. I think they're so convertible. You buy about 10 of the same Space Marine and you can easily interchange GW Minis. You get so many options with them. I'm not trying to justify all of the cost, but the quality of them, Mantic, that Mars Attacks looks fantastic. Kings of War, a lot of people swear by it, and I've yet to play it, so I'm yet to see, but the miniatures aren't as good a quality as the likes of, say, GW, Privateer Press, Malifaux. Aliens vs Predator is one on its own, fantastic. And Batman miniatures, if you can put the time and effort into them, are amazing. But let me know what you think, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks very much again to Mike. Big pledge from Mike there. Great if you'd all followed suit and all, pledged £1,000. I love you all forever. and we'll move forward. As I've said, just do what you can. Throw in what you can, whether it be £1, £2, £5, £10, £50. The benefits are all there. I'm not going to sell them all to you again right now. Another video goes up tomorrow morning, 6:30 every morning. There's a new video going on. Luke's going to let me know tomorrow. That's cool, mate. Yeah. When Caitlin commented, "What just happened? That's freaked me out." Yeah, me a little bit too there, Wayne. I'm not too sure what happened. In fact, you know what? Before I go off, let me try sending Ben a message. Because he's still there, but there's nothing coming from him now. He's muted himself now. Okay. Just sent him a message on Facebook, see what happens. I can't unmute him. And what I'll do is I'll inject him from Hangout so he's not there. Yeah, I'm not going to sit and wait, obviously, just to keep you guys online, just to see if he replies. If he replies within the next 2 minutes, fine. But if not, I'll close it at midnight. But yeah, get the pledges in, guys. Videos 6:30 each morning and go up. One of them is a look through the store. My 3D design of the store is almost finished. Hopefully that'll get finished this weekend. A bit of luck, and then I'll be able to show you that on a video next week, or even on a live show next week, to make a screen share, walk around with it. But yeah, let's do that. That'd be quite cool. And I'll do a video of it anyway for those that don't watch the live one. But let me know in the comments on this if you've got to the very end of this. Then brilliant. Well done for sticking with me. But if you've got to the end of this, then put some comments in of what your thoughts are, how it's gone. Was it more structured tonight because it was just me chatting? Did you enjoy it more? If you've pledged, why have you pledged? If you haven't pledged, why not? Tell me why you. Be honest with me. I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to suddenly tell you, never speak to me again. If you've not pledged because you've not got any money, that's fine. If you've not pledged because you don't see the worth in it, let me know, because I need to know for myself so that I can move forward and I know how to get things right. I want to make this as successful as I can for both me and you lot. So please put some comments in and let me know ideas of what you'd like me to talk about next week. Let's get on with that. Let's decide what we're going to do next week and how we're going to go about it. He's not replied to me as of yet, so hopefully Ben's okay. So I don't know what happened then. I'll let you know in a future video that he's all right, hopefully. Pass. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, anyway. And thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.